Good evening and welcome to the Pepsi Center in Denver for tonight's Rocky Mountain Showdown. Colorado versus Colorado State, the biggest game of the year, the biggest rivalry on ice. Joe Paris alongside Joe Aria here with you live. This is exciting, Joe. We've got the best game of the year to finish everything off. Buffs and Rams will finalize the regular season. The Buffs are headed on to Nationals. The Rams, they're headed home after tonight, but still a big game to finish the regular season.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's the biggest game of the year, Joe. Pepsi Center, your rival. It's the Center Ice Showdown, or some people like to call it the Rocky Mountain Showdown on ice, Joe. It's just going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what both of these teams do because it's going to be tough. It's going to be gritty, but overall, I'm going to see some good hockey tonight.
And these teams are very familiar with each other. They had a 2-game set last weekend that got very physical, and this year Colorado has come away with all the wins over State, which, you know, when you go into a rivalry game at Pepsi Center, all bets are off. In a rivalry game, it's a 50-50 game, and tonight, especially at Pepsi Center, you see guys play inspired hockey. This is the rink where many of the players tonight saw their legends play as kids, and well, it's exciting for the broadcasters, the people taking tickets, the people in the stands. It's the Pepsi Center in Denver, and everyone knows that tonight's stage is probably the biggest stage they'll ever get to play on.
Yeah, definitely, and especially because it is club hockey, this is probably going to be, as you were saying, Joe, probably one of the biggest stages that they'll ever play on. So both teams, I expect it's going to be a really tough game to start it out. There's not really going to be too much time to feel each other out. They're just going to go right after it. Expect it to be a really physical game early on, just bodies flying all around the rink. It's going to be really exciting, especially in these first 5 minutes for sure.
The big difference this year for Colorado has been Colin Champagne-Piner, who Joe Aria and I have watched since his junior career years ago, has stepped up in the black and gold and become a premier goaltender in the ACHA. And Joe, he's not the biggest goaltender in the world, but as we've seen over the years, he really is a competitive player.
Oh, he definitely is. I mean, especially just standing at 5'9". 5'9" is pretty short for a goaltender, but Colin plays way bigger than his size. I mean, not only is he a smart goaltender, Joe, but it's just the way he uses the net. His fundamentals are great. The way he positions himself is great. And also just the way he's able to move around and really command the ice and command where his defense is going to be. One of the main reasons why CU's defense has been so good.
And offensively, Colorado has been firing as of late. The number one line for Coach Eric Bauer, Jake Bauer, Chris Bergkemper, and Matt Anders have been playing nothing short of spectacular. And you take a look at a guy like Thomas Jarman, who I'd say very quietly is making a lot of noise, but, well, that defeats the purpose there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, especially as you're talking about Bergkemper, Joe. Bergkemper has really, I mean, he flies around the rink, honestly. He is one of the guys. Tonight, you're going to see him. He's wearing the number 10, Joe. You're just going to see him all around the rink, playing defense on the right side, on the left side. I mean, he's one of those guys that CU leans heavily on, although he's not the only guy that could put up points.
And of course, Matt Anders was named the League Player of the Year. We talked to him before the game, and boy, he's amped up here tonight. And it's funny because a lot of these guys on both teams grew up playing together with the Boulder Bison organization, an organization that Joe and I both worked for in the past. And it's cool to see everyone move up from juniors onto the big stage, some in green and gold, some in black and gold.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bison to be represented here and just a lot of players on the WSHL, and that has really actually shown not only the quality of the league, how that has really improved, but also how the club level, especially ACHA D1, has really improved quite a bit, Joe. It was a little bit sloppier, I guess you could say, even when CU was in Division II, but now that they're in Division I, it has that competitive nature of an NCAA Division I feel. Maybe not the same skill level, but it's got that same kind of attitude, the same kind of everybody putting their bodies on the line here. They really want to have just great games for the team, especially tonight where it's going to be a big stage.
And one of the goaltending battles we saw during the last set with these two teams was Dax Diedrich versus Colin Champagne. Now, they both played together back and forth on the Bison teams, and well, seeing them on opposite ends of the ice is very entertaining.
It's entertaining not only for us, Joe, but probably for them. I mean, you remember the last game that they played at CU, Champagne was trying to goad Diedrich into stepping beyond that center ice line and fighting him. We'll see if we can get some fireworks between the two goaltenders, but overall, I imagine both of them to be really solid backstops for their team, because they're going to have to be for their team to prevail here tonight.
And Joe, you've played through the years in rivalry games and semi-professional hockey as well, and when you go into a game like this, I mean, such a heated rivalry, what's the mindset heading in?
Well, the mindset, Joe, is pretty much that you want to use the rivalry as a way to amp yourself up, but it's really going to be cooler heads prevail. the people, the players that can have those cool heads, especially in those really tough times where the game gets really physical, the game gets really chippy. There's a lot of scoring opportunities in both directions when they fly up and down the ice, as you'll see quite a bit of tonight. Those who can keep their heads, those who can really keep their minds in the game will come out on top, especially in rivalry games where it gets really contentious early on.
We thank you for joining us here tonight, live from the Pepsi Center in Denver. Joe Paris alongside Joe Aria. We've got our entire staff here standing behind the camera. They're all staring at us right now on these great lights. We'll have Catherine Bogart, the third member of our broadcast team, joining us from ice level. She'll also be with us during the intermission, as well as Jared Broush and Alex Doyle, who will be hosting our intermission report. We definitely encourage you guys to send in some tweets during the broadcast. Our handles will be on the bottom of the screen throughout the game. And send us pictures, send us whatever you got. We'll send in all the best moments up on the broadcast. But we're getting near puck drop. This is going to be fun. We are going to step aside real quickly. But when we come back, we'll have the countdown to face-off, as well as all 3 periods of hockey from the Pepsi Center in Denver. Don't go away. Coming up right now. All right, we're here live at Pepsi Center. Joe Aria, Joe Paris. We've got some starting lineups going on ice level for your Buffaloes tonight. Starters, no surprise, it's going to be the likely fellas. Starting in net tonight will be Colin Champagne. At center will be Matt Anders. At left wing, it'll be Chris Burkemper. At right wing, it'll be Jake Bauer. Back on defense, it'll be the veteran Matt Hefter alongside Devin Pilkington. And that'll round up the lineup for the Buffaloes here tonight. And Joe, it looks like we're going to have Michael Porter in net tonight for the Rams. Diedrich got the last start. And it will be Porter that'll get here tonight. We're going to step aside for the national anthem. We'll be back for puck drop right after this. And we're here for face-off. Buffs and Rams, Pepsi Center in Denver, the final game of the regular season. Thanks for joining us, Joe Paris alongside Joe Aria. We do know we're experiencing a few audio difficulties right now. We're figuring them out as we speak, but I think we are good to go. We'll also be joining, Catherine Bogart will be joining us here momentarily. And we'll throw it down to here briefly, but Joe, this is going to be a fun one.
Pretty much when I knew that I was going to be on the broadcast for the game, I was just having chills down my spine. CSU, one of the best rivalries in the country. Ice hockey, basketball, football, it's always contentious. These schools do not like each other, and I expect that to continue throughout this game.
We're underway from the Pepsi Center in Denver. Buffs and Rams. Shot on net goes just wide. A broken play off the faceoff for Colorado State. Zach Lish almost buried that one here in the opening seconds. Colorado will escape left to right here on your video monitor at home, wearing their gray and gold. And the Rams, the home team tonight, as Anders takes it through the slot. He takes a shot, he scores! And Matt Anders will make it 1-0, 26 seconds into the game. What a start for Colorado. Zach Lish almost scored on the other end. Anders does score on this end.
Yeah, Anders really the sharpshooter there. You could just see that great pass, and just in the low slot there, Anders, a pretty simple shot, may have taken a deflection on the way through, but in the end it goes through the wickets of Michael Porter. 1-0 Buffaloes early in this hockey game.
And we are actually going to go down now to Catherine Bogart down at ice level. Catherine, down to you. We're trying to get Catherine on.
Honestly, and Anders did a really good job of just finding the open space. He had all the time in the world to put his head up, fire a shot through the wickets to give CU a very early lead.
Colorado will carry it into the zone. It'll be Salvato from the circuit. He'll take a shot, saved by Porter, and he'll hang on for the save. So experiencing some audio difficulties. We were going to go down to Catherine Bogart. For now, we're going to have to hold off, and the audio crew will tell us when we're ready to send down to Kath. But for now, just two Joes up in the booth. Faceoff stays here in the zone. The freshman Luke Carter in to take the draw. He'll push it off deep into the corner. Wigton will come after it for Colorado. Pushed off along the edge for the Rams with just underway here in Denver. Bruce will play it off the boards. He'll bounce back and forth before it's picked off and pushed away by Eric Killam. Killam will push the pile before it comes free to center ice. Wigton will take it in from the neutral zone. He'll dump it in down low. Carter will be the first one to the puck. It'll be played up around the boards, though. Now to Luke Fiegel. Fiegel will exchange back and forth, back to Killam. Killam will on the edge and out to center ice, or Matt Adams will softly lay it against the boards, waiting for it with Salvato. He'll be pushed off into the boards again, though, by Luke Fiegel. Killam will take it in from his own slot, and he'll recoil back in down low. So a quick start for the Buffaloes. It really kind of flew the energy out of this game. I mean, it's a really weird pace at this point.
It really is, and especially the atmosphere with the crowd in the game, a little bit into it, but overall just that goal really, almost you could say, kind of killed the atmosphere a little bit, Joe. But I think the game is starting to settle down a bit. CSU is going to have to get some pressure on if they really want to get themselves into this game early.
Colorado will collect it in their own zone, out to center ice. It'll be pushed for Chris Doyle. Alex Doyle is part of our broadcast crew. His brother is he's on the team, so one of these days, Alex is going to get a call at Chris Doyle goal. That was the goal for this year.
Oh.
So we'll see if that happens. Coin from his own corner. Will try to get it out to center ice. It'll bounce towards Elliot Palanchik before it's picked off by the Rams at center ice. Corey Taylor will throw it back and forth. Collected by Colin Abbott's. Abbott's a longtime Ram, a veteran player on this team. Eric Kardash will head forward as it'll be driven back by to Will Neff. Neff, one of the members of the Boulder Bison alumni group we were talking about during the pregame. Now to Brian Casario. It'll be wrapped around the boards in front of the CSU bench, and out to center ice come the Rams. They got some speed into the zone. Trying to handle through traffic was Nick O'Donnell. O'Donnell still with the puck in the corner. He'll play it off the backboards to Abbott's. Abbott's will avoid a collision there from Anders. Looking for a pass in the slot for O'Donnell. Will be picked off by Chris Bergkemper. And Bergkemper will take it out to center ice himself. Glove down by the Rams and dumped in the zone by Abbott's. That one will go out of play. And the face-off will come out to the neutral zone.
Well, I was talking about Chris Bergkemper early on. I mean, as I said in the pregame, he's everywhere. Even though he's probably going to see him a lot more on that left wing, he could be on the left side, on the right side, and he was back there playing defense for the Buffs, especially for them early on. As CSU kind of gets into this game a little more, CU's forwards are really going to have to help out quite a bit on defense.
Broken up in the neutral zone and carried in by Mastrosik. He'll try to play it in between the legs on net. Champagne had a good look at it as Anders will come out to center ice. He looks across for Bergkemper. Instead, he'll send it into the corner himself. And you can tell already that Anders has got a little bit extra under his skates tonight. Bergkemper will be pushed up against the glass by Hassel. Into the corner for Bergkemper. Out to the blue line for Trent Edwards. They'll exchange back and forth. Puck loose at the top of the circle before it'll be batted out to center ice. It'll be a race to the puck as Hunter Clark will come after it. Hefter will beat him there, those two former teammates. Nitchin will play that off the boards, and this will slide all the way down where Michael Porter will see it go off the backboards as both teams will go off for a change. So 1-0 here early for Colorado. Anders scored an unassisted goal. He just slid that one past Porter. You know that Porter really wasn't ready for that one 26 seconds in.
Well, no, and it was a well-placed shot in the 5-hole there, Joe. And those are kind of those things where I think Porter would want to have back, especially because of the fact that it went 5-hole. A lot of goaltenders don't want to beat 5-hole or low.
Big slap shot gloved out of the air by Champagne. A howitzer from Quist Guidotti. Guidotti, though, unable to convince it by the 5'9 Champagne. That rhymes. I just realized that. After all these years, we finally realized it rhymed.
I mean, just look at that. I mean, that's a pretty nice clapper there in Champagne. Probably if he was a little bit bigger, it would have seemed more routine. But guess what? Champagne's got to put out the flash. It really helps motivate your defense when your goaltender can make a very flashy save like that.
And the last few contests between these two teams, as per a rivalry matchup, have been very physical, and you're just waiting for it to heat up here in the first period. Played off the backboards over to Salvato. He'll scamper out to center ice, looking for a long ice pass. There's George Gruber, the 7th. There was Gruber VII on his back, the only player I've ever seen got the Roman numerals. He's the 7th George Gruber in his family, and when he came to tryouts last year, he said, "Coach, I'd love to wear number 7. I'm the 7th George Gruber," and, well, he was given that. He deserved it.
He definitely did. I can't believe there's 7 generations of George Grubers that want to name themselves the exact same name. I don't know.
It's pretty impressive.
I don't know if I want my son to have my name. That's for sure.
You don't want Joe Aria the 2nd icing on the play?
Nah, it just doesn't really rhyme. Sounds too papal, I think.
Yeah. That's what we really get from you. That's why we brought you to the booth for tonight, because we know that's the type of color we're going to get from
exactly.
Joe. You're usually a traffic producer at a local television station, so bringing you into the hockey rink, You never know what we're going to get, huh?
Oh, no.
Carter in to take the drop for Colorado. Luke Carter has been a great freshman addition to the roster this year. Comes from Toronto, Canada. Was the captain of the Toronto Patriots of the Ontario Junior Hockey League, and he is the second Canadian on the roster alongside Tyson Riddell in the offseason. Eric Kardash, the lone Canadian last year. And talking to Cards, who comes from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, he said it's nice to have a few more Canadians on the team.
Yeah, especially as the ACHA it's very American-based, and just having one or two Canadians just really helps kind of add that chemistry a little bit as well.
Carter will chase after it into the corner. Jordan Natowski will wrap up in down low. Puck will squirt out to Abbots. You look to Colin Abbots and Will Neff for the Rams to try and get this back to even. I mean, those are the top guns for the Rams. Natowski in behind his own net, looking for a pass to Corey Taylor. Good forecheck from Colorado. Out there is Andrew Bradford, and Bradford, 22, as he's got the puck into the zone right now, has really stepped up his play here the second semester of school. And it's one of those things where I talked to Bradford during the week at practice. I said, what happened? He said, I don't know. It just started to click, and for some guys, that's all it takes.
Sometimes it clicks. Sometimes you just learn to relax out there. A lot of guys are just...
And the puck will go out of play. It looks like some fans will go home with a lucky puck.
Yeah, definitely. But as I was saying there, sometimes it just clicks, and then you start getting that confidence. That confidence keeps building and building and building. The more comfortable that you get with each successive game, and pretty much for him, I mean, you need to have your confidence at this high of a level, at this not only in a rivalry game, but as you start to make your way into nationals.
Palanchik will send the outlet pass to Andrew Bradford. Bradford in over the line. Palanchik going towards the goal. Sends one on net. Porter got a piece of that one. It'll fly to the corner. Edwards will come in from the blue line to try to keep that puck alive, but it'll come out to center ice. Palanchik will carry it out. Banged across now to Bradford. Bradford, one of the biggest guys out there on the ice. Anders and Bergkemp are probably the only two that could out-muscle him at the front of the net. And, well, they happen to both be in Buffalo's colors. Dumped in down low. Both teams will go off for a full change. The Buffs had a lot of possession in their favor in the last matchup in Boulder, and by the third period, I mean, the Rams looked tired. And, I mean, watching that game, Joe, I mean, you got to think, how are you going to try to approach the game differently without trying to empty the tank in the first period? In behind the net for the Rams. Interesting playing here at Pepsi Center. The guys trying to figure it out. I mean, the dimensions of the rink are the same, but you talk to the guys, you say it feels so much bigger.
Yeah, sometimes it almost feels like a cauldron. At CU, at the rec center, it's a very intimate atmosphere, much smaller building, and you feel like the fans are really on top of you. Here, it's a really great venue, but...
Turned over in front, shot on net, same by Champine. He'll come in behind. Champine has been surprised with a few shots so far. Unconventional offense from the Rams. Through center ice, here comes Anders. Anders got some speed there with Bauer, looking for a pass on the back door. He scores! Matt Anders, his second of the period. And it's 2-0 Colorado. You felt that one coming as Bauer saw the puck trickle onto his stick. Backdoor Anders was ready, and he sent that one to the back of the net like they teach you to as a 5-year-old.
Yeah, pretty much. There are not too many people that can miss that. Look at that, just the puck trickling out. Bauer with the heads-up play, didn't go selfish there. Anders with his second goal of the game. And we're not even 10 minutes into this first period. Matt Anders, if you want to talk about a guy that has really stepped it up so far for the Buffaloes as he continues to do so in a rivalry game. Great stuff from Matt Anders. Even nice pass by Bauer as well. Pretty good tic-tac-toe right there.
We mentioned it during the pregame. Our audio was apparently off, so we'll say it again. Anders was the WCHL Player of the Year, and he's got 2 goals and 2 reasons more as why he got that award. A big forward who... Well, he has his presence felt out there, and he's not the loudest guy in the locker room, but I'll tell you, he makes a difference in between the lines. So the Rams now looking for some options. You may remember exactly a year ago, Colorado had their way with the Rams here at Pepsi Center, scoring 7 goals that night. So the Rams will see if they can cut into this 2-0 lead. The shot will be deflected in through the slot, and over to the circle. It will be collected by Taylor. Taylor looking for options. He sees Jari Nightenbach deep in the corner. Jari will play it off against the glass. Out to the blue line for Taylor. Through some traffic. That one will wrap around the boards. About halfway gone in this period. Again, Anders, 2 goals. The first one unassisted. The second one, a beautiful pass from Jake Bauer on the back door. In behind the net of Porter. Jarman will go down on the forecheck. Outlet pass to Campbell. Touch pass along into the zone. Over for Guadotti. Guadotti looking for an option in through. Can't quite finesse it forward as the puck will slide through as the net was dislodged off its moorings.
Yeah, it looks like Mick Bruce there back on defense, really stoning that 2-on-1 there. As you can see, Godotti looking to try and make the pass, and at the last second, it actually wasn't Nick Bruce, it was Matt Adams back there making the key defensive play. If he didn't make that play, it just would have been an easy tap-in for the Rams, but thankfully you have some really steady play from Matt Adams early in this game. CU, their defense, they've just overall, not just their defense, but their offense has really been moving their feet quite well. CSU has taken quite a bit to get that energy up. They're not really moving their feet as well as the Buffaloes are, and as you can see, the scoreboard shows it.
And we will have Catherine Bogart joining us at some part of this broadcast as the puck will almost slide through the crease. We're having some audio issues here. It's a little bit bigger venue than we're used to, Joe. We're usually used to the 500-person occupancy limit of the CU Rec Center. Tonight we've got Pepsi Center. There's a lot of empty seats, I'll say that. But I want to give a lot of credit to the Colorado State Band. They're here every single year, and it's so cool having a college band at Pepsi Center. I sure wish the Buffs band were here, but I'm glad we have at least one college band.
Yeah, kind of give it that college atmosphere. But, Joe, if you're just looking at how CU have started this game, again, they're really moving their feet they're getting their feet moving, and they're overall just a lot more crisp with the puck. They know exactly what they want to do with it every time they touch the puck, which is huge, especially if you're trying to get the edge on your rivals.
Will Neff will send it out to center ice as Doyle will actually narrowly keep that one and never escape the zone. Porter will come out of his net to play it. He'll send it around the boards to Nick O'Donnell. O'Donnell, a top guy to watch for the Rams. He's really been turning on as of late. O'Donnell on the year. He's got 9 goals, but 20 assists. That's a lot of points. He's second on the team in assists. Third on the team in assists. Dylan Hassel also in the 20s. As Doyle will get a good shot on net, and Porter will make the save. As we got a collision in down low, but Porter will shake it off.
Yeah, Porter's not only has to shake off that collision, Joe, but he's done actually a pretty good job of shaking off the first 2 goals. And Chris Doyle had a pretty nice opportunity there. I think that Porter had a little bit of trouble with that rebound, but he was able to find it. He was able to cover it up, and I think he's just got to keep being steady, especially when you give up goals early on. You have to be the one that rebounds. He needs to make a key save, and he's the one that really needs to step up for this Rams team to sort of feed off of their goaltender and get some momentum going as we start to edge into the middle to the last part of the first period.
And we're going to have the Avalanche Ice Girls are going to come out, and they're going to do the ice, it looks like. Both teams looked unaware as why they had a stoppage in play here at the 10-minute timeout. I think we're going to try to go to Catherine Bogart. We're ready for her right now. Are you guys ready? Yeah? Can we go to Kath? See you go to the third member of our broadcast crew down at ice level. They're testing our audio out behind us. All right, we're going to go to Catherine Bogart. Catherine?
Thanks, guys. We're down here on ice level, and let me tell you, the Buffs are looking explosive off the start. We talked with Jake Anders before the game, and he said, we're really excited for this game and what we can do going into nationals by getting confidence from this win. So far, they're up 2-0, and it's looking really good. Head coach Eric Ballard also said that they need to go out there and play their game. They couldn't let CSU control the game at all, and it looks like CU is just doing that. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
Thanks, Catherine. See, look, technology does work sometimes. Look at that. Catherine Bogart. Make sure to send any questions you have on Twitter to Catherine. And we are ready to get going here. So, you guys behind us, just tell us when we're going to go to Catherine. We'll go to Catherine. Back in the box, though, with 2 Joes. Joe Aria and Joe Paris here with you, longtime broadcast partners. Because we've been doing this for 4 years now, huh?
Joe, it's been too long.
It's been way too long. You've started to actually gray, huh? You got a few gray hairs falling in?
I know.
Have I done that to you?
They come, maybe.
I'm sorry.
It comes in the beard first. I notice every time there are little white speckles here and there for sure.
You hate to start this prematurely, but with 9 minutes left in the first period, Anders is on the hat-trick alert here. And one of the snafus of the CU Rec Center ice is if a player does get a hat-trick, it is nearly impossible to throw There's a shot from Anders, and he scores. Are you kidding me? A hat-trick for Matt Anders here in the first period. I don't see any hats being thrown onto the ice. I saw one guy think about it for a second, but Matt Anders has got, there's one hat there on the ice in front of the Colorado bench, and Anders has got a first period hat trick. There's another one down there on ice level off the screen. And what I was going to say before Anders had the timely third goal, at the CU Rec Center, the protective netting is so high, it's almost impossible to get a hat onto the ice. And last year, Thomas Jarman scored a hat trick, and he came up to me after the game and he said, "Why couldn't you throw the hat on the ice?" He said, "I couldn't clear the I can clear the netting here, but at Pepsi Center, if you're sitting on the half boards, not a hard toss, as we have 3 on there.
Yeah, well, just kind of going back to that play, Joe, and what really led to the goal, some great pressure on CSU's defense, and Eric Killam for CSU really made a mess of that, and then it just went right into the low slot for Anders to get his hat trick. It's really, really tough for a goaltender when a puck just jumps at you at the low slot. There's not really much that Porter could do about it.
And that was an unassisted goal for Anders, so 2 unassisted goals in the period, 1 assisted by Jake Bauer. He's got 3. Matt Anders 3, Colorado State nothing. A shot on net is turned away by Champagne into the corner. And we had some conversations during the week giving, Matt a little bit of a hard time. Oh, you're the player of the year. Congratulations. Boy, did he take that personally. Are you kidding me? I mean, 3 goals here in the first period at Pepsi Center. You're talking about a big stage player heading into nationals.
Oh, wow. And, I mean, every single rivalry game, especially with, even though CSU hasn't really had an up year, this would be actually one of their down years in quite a while. I mean, Anders, he just took that to heart, and he's just been great these past couple of games, and especially tonight, having the 3 goals early.
Saved by by Porter. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm trying to think back on Buffs hockey here the last 3 years. I can't think of a more impressive individual effort, and we've still got more than 2 periods of hockey to play here. And Michael Porter, I mean, nothing on him. He's just absolutely been dropped. We're going to now go down to Catherine Bogart. And Catherine, we're going to go down to her. Yeah, just pull up her mic. When she starts talking, we'll stop. You can't hear? Can't hear her. I can't hear anything. Forget it. We try to do cool things, Joe, and they don't work out. Either way. Send it deep into the corner. If I was Matt Anders, maybe you'd think about just cooling off a little bit, huh?
Why not? I mean, he might as well. I mean, you're talking about the 7 goals they put up last year against CSU. Again, we got a lot of game to go, but I mean, the way Anders is going, he can just put up 7 goals by himself. I've never seen that in a hockey game before.
Neff will put one in front, and a shot on net, and a goal from Nick O'Donnell. O'Donnell was right in front of Champagne, waiting for it perfectly, posting up. Got a great pass from the outside, and he'll slide it by Champagne. And that's why you play 60 minutes, because the Rams are not going to go away. And they'll cut into this lead. It's 3-1 Colorado.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, a good shot by Neff there. Actually, probably ended up being more like a pass, really, in the end. And O'Donnell just hit that puck out of midair, really, put it to his forehand, and really caught Colin Champagne out of position there. Champagne really expecting the shot going more to his right. Instead, went to the middle of the rink. And O'Donnell with the key shot and a key goal, really, early on. CSU has to use this to get back into the game.
So O'Donnell from Neff and Casaria will make it 3-1 with 7:15 remaining in our first period of play from Pepsi Center in Denver. The Rocky Mountain Showdown on ice, the Center Ice Showdown. It's been given many names here the last few weeks. I'm not sure which one we were supposed to plug. Forgot to look at the press sheet. Back through the zone for the Rams. Mistrosic will pick it up as we'll get a referee's whistle, and I think we're going to get our first penalty of the evening. And if you're not familiar with Colorado State hockey, we had close to 30 penalties in our last matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, Chris Fiegel taking that penalty. It wasn't really so much the hit. It was not only it was just that he took him a little bit further off the puck, Joe, and maybe put a little cross-check in there as well.
And we're going to go down to Catherine Bogart, who's going to talk to us about those penalties. Kath?
Thanks, guys. So we haven't seen many penalties until just now in this game, which is something that's pretty rare when these two teams face off. Being rivals, you know, it's definitely different, and there's definitely always that high tension in these games. Something that Colorado said that they were going to work on going into this game was being disciplined, because if you're not disciplined in the national championships, then you're going to get all these penalties called against you, and that might be the difference for winning and losing. So Colorado so far has stayed disciplined. Let's see what they can do on this power play. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Kath. Pilkington will bring it in over the line, and I mean, Catherine's got it right. When you get down to that national tournament, very disciplined hockey, you don't know if one penalty or one power play is going to be the difference in the game. And we saw for Colorado in plenty of games this year that special teams really was the bottom line between winning and losing games.
Well, it's always been that way, Joe. But especially when they get to those tight games, even the refs are going to let you get away with a little more, and they're going to call much less penalties in nationals. So if you can capitalize on your opportunities when you get the power plays, that's basically how you can not only get through the first round, which will be against Iowa State, but also getting all the way to those finals and winning the whole thing, because I know that's what CU is aiming for this year.
And the Buffs have been working a lot on their power play in practice. It's been fine this year. They're converting pretty well as the puck slides through the back, and Jake Bauer misses the entire 4x6. Oh, boy, he's going to think about that one for years. I'll tell you that right now. Knowing Bauer, he's not going to be happy missing that one. On the other end, the Rams almost tipped that one in over the line. Bauer will carry out to center ice. Look for Jake to take another shot here to make amends for the one he just missed. Puck held up, and Porter will slide out of the net to make the save.
Oh, Jake Bauer, so upset. You know, they always say the post is the goaltender's best friend, and he definitely is as he shakes
didn't even
his
hit
head.
The post. He missed the whole thing.
It actually looked like, Joe, that he did hit the post. Yeah, he did, because he basically just shot it right onto the post. Yeah, he's shaking his head after he gets off of that ice. And then, of course, once he gets the puck, he tries to do it all himself on a 1-on-2. He is upset right now at missing that open chance.
If Colorado goes on to win this game, I'm sure the teammates will be giving him trouble for the rest of his career for that one. Hey, Jake, remember the time you missed the yeah, boys, whatever.
I just call him open net after that.
It's going to be a breakaway down the other way for Hunter Clark. Clark works in on Champagne. Shot is saved by Champagne. Rebound will be pushed off into the corner. There is a delayed penalty on Colorado behind the play. It looked like Hefter might have gotten a stick in on him, so we will go, looks like 4-on-4 here. No?
He's got a penalty shot.
Who's going to get a penalty shot? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was away, but I guess.
Well, he actually was, and he just got hooked right on the hands, Joe. And even though he got the shot off, what they say is that he would have been in, and he wouldn't have had he would have had less of an opportunity on goal if he didn't bury that, if he didn't get hooked.
So Clark here on the penalty shot. He'll take it in straight away. Deeks, and a save by Champagne. He'll turn it away. No damage done. So Piner will look off into the rafters where he'll see the number of Patrick Waugh, and I'd say that for most kids growing up, a hockey fan, he'd say Patrick Waugh is maybe his hero. Actually, fun fact, Piner is a Red Wings fan. And speaking of Colin Champagne, I was talking with one of his other former Bison teammates, Dion Kidd, this afternoon. Dion used to play here with the Boulder Bison, now the Superior Rough Riders, and Dion now plays professionally over in Germany. He plays for the Hanover Scorpions, and talking to Dion this afternoon, it brings back a lot of memories of the Bison teams from 4 years ago that had almost all these guys on the roster.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you had two Bison going after it on that penalty shot. Hunter Clark should know one of the places to not go 5-hole, one of the goaltenders to not go 5-hole on, Joe, is Colin Champagne, because he can get down really quickly in that butterfly and take that 5-hole away, which is what he did on that penalty shot.
So shout out to Dion Kidd, who's watching over in Hanover, Germany. We got a great crowd around the world, Joe. Look at that, just for this, just for us, right?
Yes.
That's why they're tuned in. Porter will make a good save on a high shot as the penalty has expired. We're back to even strength. Bruce will make a good play at the blue line to keep the play alive. Neff will slash at it, and out to center ice. George Gruber will chase after it. Gruber will leave it at center. It'll be picked up and brought the other way by Abbots. Abbots will bring it in over the line, and that one will go into the netting and out of play.
Yeah, Champagne really being steady here early in this game. As CSU, not only have they grown into the game, Joe, but CSU has really started to dictate the pace a little bit. It was pretty much all CU for the big part of that first period. And again, of course, they had the hat trick from Matt Anders there earlier on in the first period. But CSU so far growing into this game and playing much better as we get to towards the end of the first period here.
Make sure to stay tuned during the intermission for our Radio 1190 intermission report with Alex Doyle and Jared Brown coming up right after the first period of play. We'll also be having Catherine Bogart. She'll be down in the hallways of Pepsi Center, and we'll have Catherine having an interview with us during the intermission. So we've got a full programming here tonight. We're not going to turn off during the intermission like we usually do. Constant stimulation. That's what it's about. Make sure to keep the Twitter going. That's what it's about. Cyrus Allen, our audio guy, loved that.
Viewer engagement, as they say.
Doyle will leave it for Kardash. Kardash will handle it into the corner. Back to Doyle. He'll look for Palanchik along the boards. Palanchik will play it nicely towards Kardash. Doyle still battling down in the corners with Natowski. Now in down low, trying to muscle the pile is Bradford. Bradford will be held up along the circle. And we've got a delayed penalty on Colorado State as Champagne will go to the bench. Extra attacker out there will be Luke Carter. Big slap shot from Adams. That'll miss the post. It'll bang out the backboards, but Natowski will touch that one up. And Colorado will go back on the power play here with 3:52 remaining in our first period.
It actually looked like Natowski there, who, that's just as we take a look at the replay. No.
Looks like it was Lish.
Oh, yeah, no, it was Natowski just right back there. Just cross-check one of the CU players from behind. There's so many things wrong with that play there, Joe. Could have been a cross-check. It could have been a board. Interference is probably what the call is going to be in the end, but overall, not a good penalty to take if you're Colorado State.
So Colorado 0 for 1 on the night on the power play. Their second opportunity here, so they'll give Natowski roughing for 2 minutes. PA announcer Connor, you may remember him. Connor McGahee, he does the in-house entertainment for all the Avalanche games. It's pretty cool to have the familiar voice here on PA. Connor, a very nice guy, also the play-by-play for the Colorado Mammoth of the National Lacrosse League. Burkemper will take it from the top of the circle, looking through some traffic, tried to thread the needle with Carter standing in front of Porter. We've got a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play, and I guess it took 17 minutes to get there, huh?
Yeah, it definitely did. Probably just few more whacks at Porter right after he make that save. It was a good shot by Burkemper, though, trying to get that in traffic, and Luke Carter doing a good job. Luke Carter and Jake Bauer both trying to screen Michael Porter there, but CSU so far, their defense, their penalty kill has been really good so far. As they grow into this game, you're starting to see them excel, not only 5-on-5 hockey, Joe, but also on the penalty kill.
And the Buffs on the year converting 19.5% of the time, so pretty average for a hockey club. You know, about 20% of the time is the mark you're looking for. Pilkington on the far end will circle off and look at Bauer. The defenseman will exchange places there as Bauer looking through a good pass there through the slot. It'll be broken up in down low, but what a pass from Burkemper, threading the needle through traffic.
Great pass. Bauer probably wanted to step out there a little bit quicker, though. The defenders, though, for CSU, doing really good. Not only, even though they let that pass go through, didn't let Bauer do any further damage.
Out to Gruber. Gruber's got a shooting lane. He'll take it. It's blocked off in front, and it'll get through the goaltender Porter, who will make the save with 41 seconds remaining on the power play. A much better look than their first opportunity.
Oh, definitely. They've had a few more shots on goal, Joe, for this power play. And for CU, what they're doing, the Buffs, they're winning a lot of these draws, and they're controlling the play in the offensive zone, which is what is expected from a power play, but also CU being able to do that will be able to help them out down the road, especially if they get more chances.
And the difference maker, Thomas Jarman, down on the ice right now, has been quiet tonight. But Jarman, who's very familiar with the Rams, had a hat trick actually the last time out against CSU as Porter nicks that one out of the air and keeps it between the pads. And he'll hang on for the save.
As you said, Thomas Jarman was a little bit quiet, but of course everybody's a little more quiet tonight when you have Matt Anders there getting the hat trick so early. But you know, Porter is not necessarily being super solid, but he's fighting. Porter is fighting. You want to see fight from your goaltender, especially when you're trying to come from behind in a hockey game.
Would have been a good graphic we would have made if we would have known Anders was going to have a first period hat trick, but we got to go on hat trick Buffs. Last time out, Jarman actually had the hat trick against Colorado State in Boulder. And Anders trying to one-up him here tonight. A big shot all the way from the blue line from Salvato will be tipped up into the netting and out of play. 4 seconds remaining on that power play. Under 2 to go in our first period. Buffs lead 3-1. Rather, Matt Anders leads 3-1. And I would say, you know, it's a team game, but 2 of those goals were all Matt Anders.
Yeah, 2 of them were. I mean, he just, not only that first one was just they were both really from the low slot. Actually, they were all from the low slot, honestly, Joe. I mean, they were in what you would call those high percentage scoring areas. Just go to the net and good things happen.
Doyle took a trigger shot there as it'll be pushed out. And if they look for a pass, Colorado State's going to have a breakaway into the zone. It looks like we brought over the line by Natowski. Natowski will take some collision there from Palanchik. Left off for Doyle. And Doyle will play it off the boards where Natowski almost consumes it at the blue line. Battled for by Bradford, who will play it in the neutral zone. Bradford will head up the other way. Handles around one defender. Runs into Eric Killam. Against the boards, Pilkington will lay out. Leaves it there for Palanchik. Palanchik looking in down low for Bradford. He'll move it around the edge back to Trent Edwards with 1:20 remaining in our first period. In down low. Corey Taylor is trying to push the pile. Taylor's got it now from his own corner. Plays it off the boards. Trickles out to Doyle. Through some traffic. Kicked away by Porter. High into the glass. Palanchik, first one to the puck. Taylor will push him off. Wins that battle out of the corner as Clark will try to free the zone. And he'll flip this one all the way down the length of the ice. Minute remaining here at Pepsi Center in the first period of play. Played out from Eric Killam. Killam will play it in behind now for Colin Champagne. Doyle plays back and forth. Looking out for Jarman. What a pass in between the legs there. A nifty one as Wigton brings it in over the line. He'll stop at the circle. Takes a shot looking from the outside post. Unable to find the twine. Will Neff will push it out to center ice. Battling with 30 seconds to go here in the period. Jarman will push the pile and carry it in himself. O'Donnell will try to chase him to the boards. Over now to Carter, who tries to center it in front, but a great job by Eric Killam to block up that passing lane. Kept in by Matt Adams. He'll slide it around the boards. It'll be picked off against the boards and held up by Carter. Carter will play it off. Jarman looking for a little bit of space with 15 seconds to go. Centering in front. Almost had Carter on the doorstep. Big shot from Adams from the outside. Had some good velocity as he'll trick it into the corner. And we'll see if they'll try to wrap this one up, and they will. And, Joe, that'll do it for the first period. Colorado leads 3-0. They came out flying hot. But give the Rams credit. Definitely playing much better there in the last 10 minutes of the period.
Oh, they definitely are, Joe. But it's really just, it's all about Matt Anders in this first period. Anders has just been solid. And, again, all you have to do is just go to the high percentage scoring areas. It sounds so simple, but so few players can really do it that well. I mean, Anders is doing a great job, as you could see. Of his goals have been really high percentage shots. It's not only just him forechecking, not only forechecking, but getting the crucial. He's not trying to do anything too fancy. He's just getting the shots to the net when he needs to, and that is why CU is up 3-1 in this crucial game.
Alongside Joe Aria, I'm Joe Paris. We're going to step aside after 20 minutes of play. Colorado leads 3-1 over Colorado State. Don't go anywhere. We're going to trade the headsets. Your Radio 1190 intermission report is coming up right after this.
So we're at intermission, and it's 3-1 Colorado, or University of Colorado, since both teams are here. So what have you seen so far in the first period?
Well, I saw Matt Anders play probably the best period of hockey I've seen him play all year. He had a hat trick in the first period, so that's awesome. I also thought that, CU's just outplaying CSU at this point. They're just outskating them, outpassing them, outshooting them. CSU did get that one goal, but beyond that, they haven't had a lot of possession time in CU's defensive zone, and so I think CU's done a really good job of controlling that. And then Champagne, when he's had to make saves, has made some really, really good saves, some key saves. So I think CU's, outplaying CSU right now. And that's what happened last year when they played here. It's pretty much been what's happened all year long when these two teams have played. CU just outplaying CSU, outscoring them, just playing a lot better, really. I don't know what else to say about that, really.
If CU's looking to get back in the game, what do you think they have to do right now to kind of chip away at the CU lead?
Well, first, they got to start establishing some possession in the offensive zone. CSU does. They have had no possession whatsoever, minus that one goal. They've had a couple opportunities, but they're really going to have to start controlling the puck more, getting the puck deep in CU's zone, getting shots on Champagne. We've seen him get scored on. He's had some shutouts. He's a good, really, really good goalie, but he's not going to be able to stop everything if you keep shooting on him enough. So I think initially they just need to get the puck down deep, and then they need to start shooting, getting some good quality shots, and maybe set up a screen in front of Champagne too, because if he can see it, he'll stop it.
And on the other side, if CU wants to extend their lead, if they so choose, what do you think they need to do? Obviously, when you have one guy scoring all three goals, are you looking to kind of spread things out, or you just ride the hot hand right now?
I don't think they need to do a whole lot to change stuff, just because they've played so well. And I do think that Matt Anders isn't going to be selfish. He's already gotten 3 goals. So I think if it comes to it, yeah, he does have a hot hand. They'll ride it. I don't think they're going to tell him to stop scoring, but I think that he might not necessarily look for it as much. Right now, we are going to actually take it down to Catherine, or not quite. Yeah. Sorry.
So, and what about from the other goaltender? We were talking a little bit during that period. He was struggling a little bit getting across. What do you do to protect him when you have a goalie that has that type of shortcoming?
I think CSU's defensemen need to force CU's forwards more towards the boards and into the corners, and not let them have open lanes right in front, because their goalie is not super strong, and if you get him moving, he's not going to move as quickly as they would have liked him to. All right, now we're going to send it over to Catherine down by the locker rooms. So, Catherine, take it away.
Thanks, guys.
And so we're back here. We have a few minutes left in the intermission. So as we look forward for the rest of the game, we did talk about penalties. Do you look for kind of things to change at all? Because this is a rivalry game. Sometimes things can get physical. Do you think, especially with CSU being down, do you think increasing physicality might be a way for them to get back?
I don't know if it'll be a way for them to get back. Well, they will increase their physicality. These two teams playing each other, doesn't matter the sport, has a tendency to be physical, especially hockey. Last year, they did have a fight. They haven't gotten super fit like to that extent this year, but it can't always happen, especially CU has kept this game closer than it ever really was last year. Last year, CU ran away with it pretty much 4-0 after the first period. 3-1 here, so CU's run away with it a little bit, but not so much. I think CSU will increase their physicality, but CU will need to do a really good job to not let it get under their skin. They have a tendency, some players, and just as a team in general, to when things start getting a little more physical and they're not getting the calls that they want necessarily, to start retaliating a little bit. And I think CU needs to really not do that tonight, and Coach Ballard needs to really make sure that they don't. But I think CSU is going to start increasing it. But so far, the refs have called a pretty tight game, so I don't think the refs are going to let this one get out of hand. I think they understand these two teams playing each other. CU, CSU, big rivalry in every sport, so they're going to do their best to keep it in control. But I do think physicality will increase as we get further along in this game.
And you mentioned CU's need to stay disciplined through that. Is it even more of a consideration, considering they do have nationals coming up? I know you never want to look beyond the game, but does that change a little bit, not wanting getting anyone injured or obviously in trouble for any type of incidents?
I think you certainly don't want to have anybody suspended by getting in a fight or anything for the first game of the playoffs, especially, this playoffs, the way it's set up is one win or one loss and you're done. So you don't want to lose any players to that. You also don't want people to get hurt. They do have some injury trouble. They got some people back. Matt Anders is back. Mick Bruce is back. But they're still without Alex Temby. A couple other key players are still hurt. So you certainly don't want to lose anybody else, especially a player like Matt Anders or Mick Bruce who are just coming back from injuries. You have a tendency when you just come back from injury to get hurt again. I don't think those two guys will. They're both big dudes. They can take some pain, but you certainly don't want to lose those two players or really anybody on this lineup at this point because they have had injury troubles throughout the year. So I think they need to really control as much as they can. Stuff happens. It's a physical game, but I don't think they're too concerned with it. And CSU is certainly not going to look to hurt anybody. I don't want to come out and say that they're going to do that. I don't think so. It's just going to get a little more physical. They have to keep their heads up is all.
And as you mentioned, with nationals coming up, do you start considering if if the league gets extended, things like that, just pulling those guys and just start looking ahead as we see? With a lot of times when teams are facing the playoffs, they might rest their best guys as things get toward the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't know how much Coach Ballard's going to do that. He's been rolling the lines. Even like this period, we saw the third and fourth lines getting out there a fair amount. So I think Coach Ballard's pretty good about just rolling lines, especially when it gets to be later in the game. I mean, if it's like 10-1 and there's still 10 minutes to go in the third period, then maybe he pulls Anders' line off the ice and just leaves him off for a little bit longer, gets guys like Doyle, Salvato, Bradford, just a little bit more playing time and just rest some of the first two line guys. But I don't see him resting them completely. I don't see that happening. He's been really good about rolling the line, so everyone's been getting relatively equal playing time, minus the couple penalties or the one penalty power play that they had. I don't see it really happening, but it could if it gets really, really extended.
Yeah, and I was going to say also, since it is obviously not the last game, but the last game around here for some of the guys, do you start making those considerations too?
Well, I mean, none of these guys are seniors,
Yeah,
so they're not
true.
losing anybody this year. So it is the last game of the season around here. So but since no one's graduating, I don't really think so. I don't think you really need to consider, oh, this could be this guy's last game type thing, because it's really not. They're mostly sophomores and freshmen, maybe a junior. I'm not 100% sure on the years, but they're a young team, so they're going to have them around for a while. So I don't think you need to make those sort of considerations quite yet.
Yeah. And then in terms of coaching, what do you think he's telling his players right now as they're getting ready to get back on the ice?
I really don't feel like Coach Ballard said much. That intermission, he probably went into the locker room and said, just keep up what you're doing. Just keep doing it, because they played a really good period. There's not a whole lot he has to say. I'm sure maybe there's some things he would like to see tighter, maybe some passing stuff that he saw that we didn't necessarily see because he's closer to the game. But I don't think that he will have said much. I think it's pretty much just walk in, say, you know what you need to do, and then call it good.
And for Alex, this has been Jared Roush, and we will be back with the second intermission report, but we'll have a little break, and then both of the Joes will be back to bring you your second period action.
Yeah, Joe Squared will be back in a few minutes.
All right, back at Pepsi Center, Joe, Oria, Paris, that works great.
It does.
We've been telling the crew all afternoon, if you need one of us, just yell Joe, and one of us will probably respond.
Yeah, but every time they've been asking for you, I've always turned around to respond, so it hasn't really worked out that well.
It hasn't worked out yet. You know what has worked out, though? Matt Anders scoring goals.
I mean, it's just unbelievable what he's been able to do this first period. I mean, especially if you're going back, not only did he score so early in the first period, but he adds two more, and he has a hat trick just past halfway in the first period, Joe. You want to talk about a guy that has really stood out for this team and has really stepped up for his team? That's Matt Anders in his first period.
And our statistician, Jake Shapiro, who was featured on ESPN2 last night. He's the creator of Bill Walton Bingo. The reason why my voice is kind of hoarse is the Buffs knocked off Arizona last night, and we rushed the court. That was a great game. So that's what you do. You lose your voice. And actually, Tanner Bergamo, who's here tonight, also on our staff, said, if you lose your voice tonight, you're going to be really upset tomorrow for the game. So I had to, half yell.
Just keep it cool. But, yeah, I mean, Bill Walton with his stories about China, and he really goes off the rail.
Did you watch the broadcast?
No.
Unreal. In a tie-dye shirt, too.
But I love it. He's such a hippie, and I love it. But anyways, it's just going back with the CU Buffs. CSU, one thing that they were able to do is, even though they gave up those first 3 goals early on, Joe, they've really been able to turn it up at this last part of the first period. They ended up scoring a goal. Nick O'Donnell had a pretty nice goal, just catching Colin Champagne there in the low slot. But one thing you can say is all these goals so far have been high percentage goals around the low slot, around the crease. These teams are really taking the idea of going to the net really seriously, because that's how you got all 4 goals of the game. There wasn't a cute shot. They were all rebounds. It was very scrappy goals. Of course, other than that pass from Jake Bauer to Matt Anders there. But overall, though, I would expect a little more from CSU in the second period. Expect them to come out hard. Expect them to come out fast. And just make sure that they don't give up anything else here. Otherwise, this could get out of hand really quickly.
Well, the Rams did a really good job there towards the end of the period to stop the bleeding, so to speak. I mean, Colorado was all over them the first 10 minutes of the game, and, they get one. They score a goal, which is huge, but they also started playing Colorado much differently. They're pushing to the outside of the ice. Matt Anders, Chris Bergkemper, and Thomas Jarman were all parked, as long as Luke Carter as well. They were all parked in front of the net for most of the first 10 minutes of play, and the Rams defenders did a good job to try to send him out towards the circle, get him out to the boards, because the Buffs have some big players that they just got to park in front of the net and tip it home.
Yeah, they definitely do. And when you're just talking about CSU's defense there, I think you're right. Overall, they've just been much better with pushing CU to the outside. But also, when there are shots on net, there are no second or even third chances. That in that last part of that first period. In the first part of the first period, it was a much different story. But CSU so far, I think they need to get a goal pretty quickly here. At the very least, they need to hold CU. What would probably be the best for them is if they hold CU off here in the second period and they end up scoring a goal sometime in the second period. Later in the second period is where you end up getting more of that momentum, Joe. But overall, it's really up to CSU to step up and see how they can get themselves back into this game, because they're really close to doing so, but it can't be consolation. They have to do better, just putting the puck to the net, getting traffic in front of Colin Champagne, and just being able to get those second and third chances to put in and get themselves more into this game.
So the teams will head back out onto the ice for our second period of play. Thanks for joining us. You're tuned in to University of Colorado Hockey on live stream. Joe Paris alongside Joe Aria here with you. I think we're gonna go to Catherine. No? Okay. I don't know. We're not going to Catherine. No, we're not going to do that. But Catherine, eventually we will, right? Eventually we will.
I think I messed you up, Joe.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on here at the same time. Big thank you to Chris Doyle and Jared Roush, who are our hosts of our Radio 1190 Intermission Report. Make sure to send them some tweets on Twitter for our second intermission, and they will answer your questions. So the teams will swap sides. Colorado will go right to left on your video monitor at home, and they wear the gray and gold. The Rams will go the opposite direction in the green and gold. And, Joe, if you're on the Rams bench, what are you telling the boys to get going in the second 20?
All you got to do is just keep fighting. I mean, this is a rivalry game. Remember, you hate CU. That's what the CSU Rams have to remember. They hate CU. Turn that hate into focus, and turn that focus to some really hard effort and just some good defense, good offensive play. They know how to do it. They know how to keep close with CU. They just have to be able to play a really solid second and third period in order to give CU a run for their money.
And if you're on the Buffs bench with Coach Eric Ballard, what do you tell the boys? More of the same?
More of the same. And you know what, Matt Anders, keep scoring, because honestly, we need more of that, and we like that. You know, even Anders scoring, just getting a couple guys on the board there. Jake Bauer wants a goal, I know for sure. Maybe we could throw in Bergkemper there, wants to get a goal. So just overall, CU's just got to maybe spread the love a little bit. But hey, if Anders scores all the goals for CU and they win the game, Ballard's not going to care.
Rams will dump it into the zone. Just underway here in the second period. Thanks for joining us, Joe Paris, Joe Aria here from Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. Colorado leads Colorado State 3-1. A good shot through the slot. Abbott's shot, though, will be consumed by Colin Champagne. And we talked about Piner in the early going about not being the tallest goaltender in the world, but when you talk about the way he plays his angles, you see it illustrated there on a play like that as he skates all the way out to the top of the crease to cut that down.
Well, especially with Abbott's taking a nice shot from the high slot. What Champagne was able to do is have control of that rebound just by sticking his glove to his right shoulder, not letting any second or third chances happen.
Through some traffic, Champagne will send that to the corner. O'Donnell will take a shot there for Mick Bruce. Gruber back and forth to Salvato. Salvato will take some good contact in the boards by Casaria. And down low for Gruber into the corner. Gruber looking for options as he'll send it out to Matt Adams. Adams will walk to the left, finds John Nitchin. Adams through some traffic, blocked off at the circle, and the Rams will try to head out to center ice. You're still waiting for that physicality to step up. O'Donnell in on the backside, looking for a pass, tipped by Abbott, just wide. You saw the play they were looking for there, just missed. Another shot turned away by Champagne. Colorado doing a good job to keep the shooting lanes open, nothing being deflected on Champagne. Piner's having a good look at everything through traffic, or lack thereof, rather. Through the neutral zone, Bruce will get slung ahead, and we are going to get a penalty here. And I don't know, it's going to be a holding call on someone, and it looks like it's going to be Is it going to be Neff?
Yeah, because what he ended up doing was he ended up grabbing the shoulder. I'm trying to remember exactly who was going up on that play for CU.
It was Bruce.
It was Bruce. So Bruce was coming up, as you could see right here on the replay. Neff, it was good initially, but just holding him back from the shoulder. That's what we call textbook holding, impeding the progress of Bruce, putting a CU on another power play.
So we're now going to go down at the next puck. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Okay, we're trying to figure it out here. We have a very, I'm sorry.
We're breaking a bunch of walls here,
We're breaking
Joe.
a bunch of walls. It's like the Deadpool movie everyone just saw, so the fourth wall. Anders with the puck. He's got 3 goals. Colorado here, their third power play. Backside, Bauer scores! A power play goal. Jake Bauer didn't miss the 4x6 on that one. He sent that one over the red line. A power play goal. Matt Anders will get a point on the play, so his fourth of the night. Bauer, his first goal, first assist earlier in the first period. 2 points on the night for Bauer. It's 4-1 Colorado.
What a pass by Bergkemper. I mean, he just saw Bauer basically backdoor, and guess what? Bauer just, he shot it back into that right post there, but overall he wasn't going to miss the second time. Another goal for the Buffs, and the 4th point, as you said, for Matt Anders. What a game for him tonight.
A power play goal from Bauer. We'll get the official assists here. So they'll give it to Anders or Bergkemper as the puck will be open there in the slot. Rich Wigton almost had an opportunity to send that one back in. So a power play goal. Bauer from Bergkemper and Anders, the likely folks. That first line for Coach Ballard has been, they've been operating well all year.
Oh, they definitely have, Joe. And, they've been involved in all 4 goals so far. And, especially Bergkemper. Bergkemper has really sent some really nice passes across the middle. Bergkemper's got some great vision. And even though he isn't necessarily finishing all the plays off, he's just giving it to Bauer or giving it to Anders. And they're the ones that are really doing the work. And my goodness, and they got the great goals so far for the Buffs.
A few minutes into the second period of play, Colorado now leads 4-1. And as Joe alluded to, all the goals from that first line for Colorado, and that's a good sign, but you're hoping that some of the second, third, fourth line start chipping in as well.
Oh, they probably will, but especially if your first line is dominating the CSU Rams, just keep that domination up, especially in a rivalry game like this.
Rams deep in the Buffalo's defensive zone, picked up by Hassel. Hassel looking for Nightenbach in the slot, but Kardash and Coyne will push him away. Neff with a push in down low, off the backboards, will be picked up by Luke Coyne. Coyne will skate with it. The triple team took it away, out to Hassel. Hassel played off against his own bench. Kardash will play it forward to Bradford. Bradford's going to have a rush if he hurries. Shot from Bradford goes just wide, looking for that outside post. Trickle all the way down the length of the ice. No icing, as it was Colorado that played it last. Hefter will play it around the boards. Kept it at the blue line narrowly. Hassel a big shot, save in front by Champagne. Rebound picked up by Hefter, and he'll send it out to center ice. Getting back for it will be Eric Killam. O'Donnell will touch it in along as Edwards will skate back as the Rams will go off for a partial change. Left in behind for Matt Hefter. Hefter looked down Davies as he'll take this one all the way through and send it in the zone. After it will come Doyle. Porter will come out of his net to play this one. Game seems to be slowing down a little bit here as the teams are finding the groove in the second period. The physicality still hasn't been there. And as a rivalry game heats up, you're waiting for it at some point. Nitch will leave it in front. Saved by Porter. Comes into the corner again as Gruber will come after it. Takes some contact there with Hunter Clark. Clark, who had a penalty shot in the first period. And Champagne turned it away, and we're looking at the replay during the intermission. He just really didn't get a full shot, Clark, on the penalty shot. We got a referee's hand up. We're going to get another penalty on the Rams. And this one's going to be a cross-check. So it'll be the 4th power play for Colorado, and now we're going to throw down to Catherine Bogart at ice level. Catherine, to you.
Thanks, guys. Now we're seeing CU continue to stay disciplined, and this is something that's so good for the Buffs. Coach Ballard talked a lot about how this team just needed to perfect their game this game, so when they go into the national championship tournament, they will be playing against Iowa State in the first round, and they will feel confident going into this game. So far, CU is really dominating with this, and a huge part of that is because of their goalie, Colin Champagne. And we'll touch a little bit more on that the next Ed Puck. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Catherine. We actually got the call wrong. That's going to be a Colorado penalty, so it'll be R.J. Salvato that'll go to the box. So the Rams, their first power play of the evening. On the year, they're converting 15.5% of the time. Both of these teams had a lot of trouble converting the previous matchup last weekend in Boulder. Colorado State went 0 for 11 against the Buffs in that contest. So we'll see tonight if they can turn the tide. First chance here tonight. Good save by Champagne. Puck goes flying up into the air, knocked down on the end line. Consumed in by Corey Taylor. And his stick goes flying into the netting. Oh, my goodness. Out to center ice comes Colorado. They're going to have a 2-on-1 if they hurry. It's Anders alongside Bergkemper. Anders into Bergkemper. Backhanded, a save by Porter. Rebound comes out to the boards. Kept alive, though, by Colorado. A good-looking play for the Buffs. A better save by Porter. Michael Porter with a huge save there, Joe, and you know that they needed that one because you have a feeling if Anders gets a shorthanded goal, then that's it. You'd have to end the game because he's got too many goals.
Anders or Bergkemper, honestly, that was from Anders to Bergkemper, that would have made point number 5. But luckily for Michael Porter and the CSU Rams, that shorthanded opportunity didn't really materialize.
Rams still on the power play for another 40 seconds. Kardash, though, will skate back into his own zone, picked off by Hassel into the zone. Kardash deep in the corner. Bodies go flying into the Geico boards. There's a free plug for them. Casaria takes a shot through traffic and is saved by Colin Champagne. Geico, not an official sponsor of this broadcast. I'll tell you who is, though. Radio 1190. Make sure to find Radio 1190 on AM 1190 in Boulder, Denver. Check them out online at radio1190.org. Radio 1190 is your official sponsor of University of Colorado men's hockey. That's what we call a plug, Joe.
Yes.
We plugged them. Check. You used to work there, too.
Yeah, for a little bit.
I think you hired me. Played out of the zone by the Buffs as Porter will come out of his net to try and slow that one up. Bauer, though, will be the first one down the ice. Played away from him with 14 seconds remaining on the power play for the Rams. Just over 13 to go here in our second period. Buffs on top 4-1. Nick O'Donnell did have the one goal. A nice one past Champagne. Into the corner. Back to even strength. And Salvato will come out of the box. Clark has got it before it's taken away by Eric Kardash. Played out to Jarman. Jarman looking for an option. Through center ice comes Wigton. Wigton with a little bit of speed. He's got Carter in behind him through some traffic. He'll end up in the crease where Porter will stay on top of that one.
It's almost like they're playing, Rosenthal and Porter are playing a little bit of golf with each other's sticks there. It's just, they're trying really, CSU, to up the intensity and to make this game scrappy and to go CU into taking more penalties. But this looks like, other than a little bit of stick-on-stick golf, as we would say, Joe, nothing really has materialized as far as any scrappy play.
Germany in down low, 12.5 remaining in our second period. Wigton along the circle. Out to Pilkington. The puck will jump over his stick and over the blue line. Nightenbach will chase after it. Pilkington, though, will beat him there. Pilkington will play it back and forth along the boards before he'll shovel it out. Devin Pilkington comes in as a freshman this year after playing for the Superior Rough Riders last year, and he came in right at the trade deadline. Even though he only played half the games with the Riders last year, led the team in scoring. With the injuries that Colorado has had this year on the defensive core, namely Alex Temby and John Dorr, Carter will take a shot and he scores. Luke Carter somehow slipped that one through the 5-hole. He'll celebrate against the glass. It's 5-1 Colorado.
And it's another low slot play as Luke Carter is telling the referees who to give the assist to. I mean, it's a really nice play by Wigton there. Wigton just saw Luke Carter coming in the low slot here. It actually wasn't Wigton who made that pass. It was Thomas Jarman who was able to get that. It was just a very simple play. Again, go to the net, go to the low slot, get that traffic in front, and Luke Carter was able to put one away for the 5-1 lead.
We're now going to go down to Catherine Bogart at ice level. Catherine, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Luke Carter has found success against the CSU team a couple times during their previous 4 matchups, and that's something that's huge. This team has a lot of depth. And when I talked to Coach earlier before the game, he talked about their second and their third and their fourth lines being able to score because this team is so strong with their chemistry on and off the ice. This is definitely showing, as it's not the top 3 scorers for Colorado, always getting all the goals in these CSU matchups. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
Thanks, Kath. Back in the booth, Joe and Joe with you here. 11.5 to go in our second period, so Carter will enter the scoring chart. And we talked about the second, third, and fourth line chipping in, and, well, they finally did.
They finally did, Joe.
And there's another one right there. I think it's going to be Chris Doyle who might have gotten that one. Pilkington sent it through some traffic. It'll make it 6-1. Not sure who got the final touch on that one. Our broadcast booth, though, is reacting as it might have been a Chris Doyle goal, and it looks like it is. Chris Doyle, a goal. That'll be his first of the year. His brother Alex is in the hallway running around, rather his second goal of the year. His brother Alex up here celebrating by throwing his water bottle. Our audio operator Cyrus celebrating in another way, but that'll make it 6-1 Colorado. Pilkington will get the assist, Doyle will get the goal, and Dax Dietrich will come into net. Michael Porter's going to take a seat. He's done for the evening.
Yeah, it was just a pretty simple play, in fact, and it was just a very nice shot there by Devin Pilkington, and then Doyle just had that little tip, as we can see on the replay. Look at that, just sent it to the net, little tip there, and yes, Pilkington with the point. You know, he's going to give that goal to Doyle there, pretty much a favorite on the team here for the CU Buffs. Great to see him get another goal.
Hefter will get the second assist, so it'll be Doyle from Pilkington and Hefter. Chris Doyle, his second goal of the year here at Pepsi Center in Denver. Doyle, they said he was snake bitten all year long. He had a lot of good opportunities at the beginning of the year, all the way through last week. And, you know, he had a hard time burying the goal here in his first year, as we're going to get a wraparound goal there from the Rams. So a very quick response from Colorado State. It looks like it's going to be Daniel Mastrosik beating Champagne to the far post, and that'll make it 6-2.
Yeah, it's a pretty, as you could say, basic wraparound there. Mastrosik just taking the puck behind the net. It actually looks like Clark ended up. It was a very nice shot there, and then he just takes it around with the wraparound and probably end up serving as some consolation. But of course, Mastrosik has that smile on his face, as you would if you score a goal at Pepsi Center. It's still a pretty big deal, even though it only cuts the lead really to 6-2.
You know, every year when we have this game during the broadcast, it's inevitable that we mention this is the same ice that the Avalanche will be playing on next week. But actually, the Avalanche will be taking the ice at Coors Field this Saturday night against the Detroit Red Wings. What a special situation out there. I know both of us were at the CCDU game. There you go. There's a lot of initials. Colorado College and Denver outdoor game last weekend. And, you know, it's great to play at Pepsi Center. But, I mean, what a stage they've got building over at Coors Field.
Yeah, and especially for that game, I mean, 35,000, not only as I think we're getting a little bit of scrappiness. Here we go.
Kardash and Lish having a conversation about probably something other than the outdoor game this weekend.
That'd be great if they were just in our heads. Maybe they were talking about some of the barbecue they'll have together later. I don't know, but
well, they'll each take a seat to think about what they did. But the outdoor game, though, you talk about, I've talked with hockey players from around the world about, you know, what playing on the outdoor surface is like. And, you know, there's nothing better. You know, whether you're on a small pond out in Alaska or you're playing in your driveway in Ottawa or you're playing overseas in Europe. I mean, you've seen outdoor rinks around the world, and things like social media have seen, like, you know, the smallest ice slabs in the backyard to a full rink in some neighborhoods. I know Colorado has got some really good places. I love to go out to Nederland, Colorado to play on their outdoor rink. But I think we're going to go down to Catherine Bogart? No? We'll have Kath.
Hey guys, thanks. So something that I talked to Colin Champagne before the game about was, what do you do when you're scored on? How do you refocus? How do you make sure that you're ready and sharp for when the next shot comes? And he says that not only every period does he break it up into 5-minute intervals and tells himself, refocus for just 5 minutes, and then starts it all over again. He also knows that he just has to brush off those goal opportunities right away and just get back into the game. And you'll see that after he has let in 2 goals, him just brush it off and be refocused. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Catherine. We really have everything figured out here at Pepsi Center, don't we? Oh, Joe. 9.5 to go here. 6-2 our game. Nitchin takes a shot, gloved out of the air by Diedrich. Diedrich was the goaltender last time these two teams played in Boulder. And it's curious to see that they pulled Porter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Honestly, it's really just to give a spark. I don't know if Porter's really been playing that badly. Yeah, he hasn't really been that stable, but he's really been fighting quite well. But honestly, I think it's just, again, CSU is just trying to give themselves a spark here by putting in Dax Diedrich. And honestly, he's been playing better against CU than Porter has, at least so far tonight. So we'll see what Dax ends up doing for the rest of the game. If he can keep CSU in this, I say CU can't score any more goals, because if they do, CSU is really going to they already have an uphill mountain to climb, Joe, but it's just going to get even steeper and steeper the more goals they let in.
Do we have the kiss cam on our monitor?
I think we do.
Do we? Awesome. Take a look at the kiss cam.
Hell, it was locks.
Look at that. This is the time where we get to stop being hockey broadcasters and we get to be professional people watchers. Aww. There's a cute couple.
Aww.
That's the Shane Co. Kiss Cam, another not sponsor of this broadcast. Radio 1190, the only sponsor of this broadcast
that we care about.
Are we going to get a few dollars, Derek, from Shane? No. Okay. All right. Well, I thought I'd ask. Whoa. They do not. She's like, oh, no, I'm not kissing you. Get away from me. He looks like Colin Kaepernick. I'll give him that. Look at that. Show him how it's done. No. To the right.
If I were Kaepernick's girlfriend, I wouldn't kiss him either.
Wow. Ooh-wee. He might not have an NFL team to play on. Like, the most awkward thing is, like, what if you're sitting next to someone at a game and you just don't know? You don't know them.
Probably the weirdest thing was when...
I think they're siblings, so they're going to get away from them.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Whoa. What are they insinuating here? No. He's too young. How about these guys? That's her dad. That's what Cyrus says. Cyrus Allen, our audio engineer, says that's her dad. So. Back to hockey. I think we're more comfortable doing hockey, right?
I'm sure they'll hear him, though.
Oh, yeah. We're on 4-on-4 hockey for another minute and 10 seconds. Over the line here for Anders. Anders has got 3. We'll see how many more he's got left in him or if he's going to share the wealth. Knowing Anders, he doesn't want any more goals. He'd love for the rest of the team to each get one.
Yeah, he's trying to. You could tell. Just instead of taking that shot there, just trying to get a pass off, probably even forcing that across the middle there to Jake Bauer.
9 minutes remaining here in our second period to play. Thanks for joining us. Pepsi Center in Denver. Our ice service here tonight. The next time Colorado will take the ice, we'll be in Chicago, Illinois at the ACHA National Tournament. Jared and Alex talked about during the intermission report that they will take on Iowa State. And the Buffs and the Cyclones did play earlier this year. That one went to a shootout, and Colorado won in extra frames. And it was an exciting game. And, I mean, when you have such a close contest like that, though, I mean, it's hard to not be nervous heading into the national tournament knowing how well you match up with the team opposite of you.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be a tight contest. You know it can get a little chippy. You know that you're pretty much even with each other.
In comes Anders at the circle, dangling away. Kept it at the blue line by Bauer. Shuffles it across now for Edwards. Trickles away from him back to the corner. In the slot for Anders. That's the spot he wants to be. Oh, Dietrich got a stick on that one. It was deflected away. And we're going to get another penalty on Colorado State. I think it'll be a slash on the Rams as Bauer had his stick knocked away from him. It'll be on Yari Nightenbach, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the old Paul Bunyan chop there as Bauer was just skating in front of the net. He just pretty much the overhand slash is what we call the textbook slash. Not really much room for referee discretion. But overall, Joe, CU so far getting into this game. And it's funny, as you're seeing, Matt Anders trying to spread the wealth. He basically had a nice shot lined up for him in the high slot, but he decided to try to pass it off to Jake Bauer, to Bergkemper to get them in on the action. But CU, hopefully they can capitalize on this power play here.
It'll actually be Eric Killam that'll get a 2-minute slashing penalty. So the rare 4-on-3, well, it just expired as I started talking about it, but it was 4-on-3 there for about 15 seconds. Now 5-on-4 for Colorado as Salvato will play it in from the blue line into the corner for Thomas Jarman. Jarman's been quiet here tonight, but, I mean, traditionally he's played very well in this contest. Nitchen will skate back through the neutral zone, looking across towards Gruber. Gruber tells Nitchen to take it himself. Nitchen will eventually get it in over the line, take some contact as he and Abbott's collided over the blue line, and the Rams will send it back out to Matt Hefter at center ice. So Colorado another power play, 1 for 3 on the afternoon into the evening, I suppose. Technically, it is always afternoon.
Night.
Whatever. Drummond into the corner. Along the boards they'll go. 1:07 as Salvato will take a slap shot off the one-timer. Blocked off in front. Glove down, though, by RJ. He'll play it off the boards. It'll wrap around. Jarman will chase after it. First one to the puck, though, will be Corey Taylor. Taylor will receive a double team of Buffaloes. We'll take a look at the replay. A good stop right in front of the net by the Rams. And they'll send it down the length of the ice. Again, on the air, Colorado converts close to 20% of the time. We're going to get a referee's whistle, and we're going to get a penalty, it looks like, in front of the Rams bench off camera. I think it's going to be against Bergkemper. And there's the guilty customer. The captain will take a seat, and we'll go back to 4-on-4.
Yeah, I wonder what he was getting called for on that one. It was probably just him talking quite a bit to the CSU bench there, Joe.
And we're now going to go down to Catherine Bogart. Catherine, to you.
Thanks, guys. The Buffs need to refocus now and stop letting the emotions get in the way. They're getting some costly penalties, and even though neither team has had a lot of success converting on the power play, they don't want the CSU Rams to start converting now. They definitely need to sit down, take a breather, remember that not to let the emotions get ahead of them, and if they do that, they'll return to their very disciplined ways of the first period. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
All right, thanks, Catherine. Champagne will wrap the puck up right off the faceoff, so Bergkemper will get 2 minutes for roughing, so we'll go 4-on-4 for another 39 seconds, and then the Rams will go on their second power play of the evening. And the ice will really open up here on 4-on-4. A lot of speedy skaters out there for Colorado. Anders, as we've talked about all night long, it's really been the Matt Anders show. One of the fastest skaters on the team, although he's got the best size and in pure skating ability. Jake Bauer, who's also out there, a very fast guy. I've always thought that Elliot Palanchik may be the fastest skater, not only on the Buffs, but maybe in the league. He is a quick guy, 18 out on the ice for Colorado. In behind the net for the Buffs, taken away from Hefter by O'Donnell. O'Donnell, who's got one of the 2 CSU goals, will play it out along the boards. Hassel will walk the line before exchanging to the boards to Neff. Neff looking down his former teammate, Matt Hefter. O'Donnell looking for a pass, broken up in the slot, and Colorado will carry to center. It'll be Bauer. Bauer looking over the line. He had Mick Bruce heading down the ice as we're back to full strength for the Rams. So a minute 13 for the power play for Colorado State. Bruce will play it away, taking off the skate of Casaria. And carried out to center ice for the Rams. So 0 for 1 on the night. Second power play for CSU. Again, on the air, they're converting 15.5% of the time. Buffs in the zone, though. Enters a big slap shot off the backboards. Fancy maneuver in front. Puck still free, bouncing away from the net of Diedrich. To the boards it'll go. Bauer played out to the blue line, and Colorado will carry it out to kill off some CSU power play time. And you look at that rebound. Look at that, Joe. I mean, it took a really funky maneuver. In behind for the Rams. 35 seconds remaining on the power play for Colorado State. Deep into the corner. Champagne elects to come out to play this one inside the trapezoid. Buffs don't have the trapezoid at home, so a little bit different as a dangerous play. Almost ended up in a CSU goal. The puck was ping-ponging within the crease. Adams looking for a long ice pass for Carter. Rams are offside, so Adams has some time and some space, and he elects to shuffle this one off the boards and down the length of the ice. Diedrich will play it up against the boards. Elliot Palanchik has the puck just dance away from him. 5 seconds remaining on the penalty to Bergkamper. Colorado will successfully kill off their second penalty kill of the night. Along the boards with 4:50 remaining in the second, Colorado leads 6-2 here on Thursday night. A scheduling snafu, as we mentioned, with the outdoor game. Pushed this game to a Thursday instead of the traditional Saturday night. This one will come down the length of the ice and will be icing on Colorado.
Well, when you're looking at Colorado's penalty kill, Joe, I think one of the main things that Catherine was really talking about is the stability of Colin Champagne back there in net. And he's just been really good so far this game. He's only let up 2 goals, and he hasn't really faced too many shots there, Joe. But when he has, he's had great rebound control. He's been able to push pucks to the corner when he's unable to control the rebound. And overall, he just gives his defense a legitimate shot, as you can see he's doing right there, giving his defense a legitimate shot to break it back out the other way.
And picture the Colorado State Rams band. Do they have a name? I know we're the Golden Buffalo Marching Band. Do they have a nickname? The Ram Band. It's pretty good.
The Golden Rams.
The Golden Ram Band.
Colorado State University Ram Marching Band. Oh, that doesn't really roll off the tongue that easily.
We're just a Google search away from really finding the answer.
We are.
Make sure to stay tuned during the second intermission for our Radio 1190 Intermission Report with Alex Doyle and Jared Broush. Catherine Bogart will also be catching up with Coach Eric Ballard in the hallways of Pepsi Center for his insight on what he's seen in the first 2 periods of play. And also make sure to stay tuned after the game for our Radio 1190 postgame show, where you never know what's going to happen during the postgame show, who's going to come by. Wigton dangling through, almost threaded the needle top shelf. That would have been the highlight of Wigton's career. I mean, that was an unbelievable display of handling. And we'll get a referee's whistle as the Rams came in offsides. But yeah, stay tuned postgame. You never know who could join us in the hallways of Pepsi Center. Faceoff will come out to the neutral zone, though, as the Rams came in over the line offsides. And for the Rams, it's been a tough year. They come into tonight 9-23-2-3, and their record doesn't show really how well they've played. And the Rams in the WCHL alongside Colorado, we called it the SEC of the ACHA last year, and that really caught on well. I know Commissioner Chris Perry really liked that title, especially after what you see, the SEC does in football every year. But the Rams, they had such a tough schedule this year, and they were really in a transitionary year. And for them to come out, and they were ranked almost all year long. I think they're 22nd in the nation right now, just missing the national tournament. They'll be back next year, and especially, getting some guys that semester like Yari Nightenbach, they'll play a big difference next year.
Oh, they definitely will, especially when you have just the more time that you have to be able to gel together as teammates. It will just allow those transitions from year to year and make those tough games much easier to play in, Joe, especially when they play CU, who at least in this part of the season are miles ahead of them, as at least what we're seeing as a microcosm, using this game as a microcosm for the season.
And last year was a much different feel. Coming into the game, neither team knew their national tournament ranking or their status. Both teams had a possibility of making the tournament coming into the game. Both teams have the possibility of missing the tournament altogether, and it was Colorado that scored 7 goals on a Saturday night, which, Colorado, similarly what they did tonight, just put the Rams away early, and they went on to the national tournament as a 16 seed, and they knocked off the University at Buffalo in the first round before falling to the number 1 team in the country, Arizona State. But for Colorado to make that national tournament for the first time in program history last year, that was a huge step. 1 year later, they come in 8th I mean, 8 places higher, you can see like where the program's going.
Well, not only can you see where the program's going, but where they are right now, especially with that line of Bergkemper and Bauer and Matt Anders. I mean, they have been tearing it up so far this season and in this game against the Colorado State Rams. I look for those 3 to really turn it on, and they're going to have to turn it on along with some secondary scoring if CU is going to make a serious run at a national championship.
And Catherine Bogart's got the inside scoop down on ice level. Catherine, how are you doing down there?
Hey guys, I'm good down here. Something that I really want to touch on with this CU team is everyone here knows their roles. This is something that makes this team so strong and allows them each to focus on their role, which then allows them to be high scoring, great on the penalty kill. I mean, you have Colin Champagne in the net. He is dictating what he needs from the D. They are always listening to him, always on top. And because of that, the D is so successful. And then you have those amazing lines that have the great chemistry that produces, 6 goals so far in the second period of this game. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
Hi, Kath. We'll talk to you during the intermission when Catherine will be hanging out with Coach Eric Ballard. So make sure to stay tuned to the Radio 1190 Intermission Report. Are we getting the name in enough? Do we say Radio 1190 enough? I think we should just start rattling it off a few more times.
Yeah, Radio 1190 is great.
Here's Jake Bauer alongside Bergkemper. A rocket and a save by Diedrich. Still held up on the end line. Another shot from Pilkington kept out of the net. It'll go off into the corner. Good play there by Diedrich, somehow getting his body in the way of the rubber puck. Back in Bergkemper's direction as it's broken off in the slot. And out to center ice for Pilkington. The crew really liked me describing what the puck was made out of. It is rubber. Okay, Cyrus Allen, our audio engineer, tells me they used to play with a metal puck. I think he's mistaken with a different sport. Shot on net will be deflected high into the glass, so it'll come around the boards to Bergkemper.
At least with roller hockey, the puck is plastic, so maybe that's I could just give some context, I guess.
I'll tell you what, no matter what it's made of, it does not feel good when it hits you in the mouth. I've had that, and it's not good. Minute remaining in the second period, carried out to center by Colin Abbots. Abbots will fire one from the outside, hit a pair of defender's stick before bouncing off the back of Champagne's net. Handled in down low for Bergkemper. Bergkemper will be pinned up against the glass as he pushes the pile in around. Bruce will chase after it into the trapezoid. Bad pass from Anders there, picked off at the circle. Shot on net, goes just wide. I think Champagne got a piece of that one. Kept in at the blue line by Natowski. Held up along the boards with 23 seconds remaining in the period. Captain Mick Bruce will skate back. Bruce, such a warrior, has had a collection of injuries this year, and he's hardly missed any time. I know he would miss no time if he had it his way, as Colorado will ice the puck with 10.5 to go in the second period. But heading into the national tournament, Colorado will be without some big pieces. Pierce Matty going to redshirt this year after he tore his ACL at nationals last year. Dak Dice still on the injured reserve list. Kirk Van Arkel, Alex Temby done for the year. The list goes on for the Buffaloes, but still, I mean, to still have a good shot in the national tournament, to playing hockey really well here as the year has gone on, it speaks volumes to the depth of this team. So time will expire here at the end of 2 periods of play. Our score after 2, Colorado 6, Colorado State 2. A little better back and forth action there during the period. We can take a look at some of the highlights. But Joe, a pretty good period. Jake Bauer getting his goal after missing the entire 4x6 in the first period. You know that's going to feel good going into the locker room knowing he at least got one tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, when you're looking at CU here, they were up 3-1 after the first period, putting in another 3-1 performance in the second period to make it 6-2. And it wasn't the same in the first period as far as all 3 goals coming a little bit after or coming early in the game and then to the middle of the first period. But it was just a consistent, solid effort from CU. They were able to still get a goal or 2 early there. But overall, they've really shut the Rams down. Overall, the Rams have had no shot so far at getting into this game. I think if it weren't for Dax Diedrich coming in net, Joe, this would be a much higher score for the Buffs.
We're going to hand off to Alex Doyle and Jared Browse. They're going to break down for the next 15 minutes Chris Doyle's goal. So make sure to stay tuned here to the second intermission report. You're tuned in to University of Colorado Hockey, sponsored by Radio 1190. Alongside Joe Aria, I'm Joe Paris. Colorado leads 6-2 after 2 periods of play. We'll be back in about 15 seconds here on Livestream.com.
So this is the second intermission report. I am Jared Broush here with Alex Doyle. And as Joe alluded to, we had a little bit of excitement up there. Familiar last name scoring one of their goals. How did it feel to watch your brother score that goal?
Felt good. He doesn't score a lot, and he's never scored a lot throughout his career. So whenever he does, I feel pretty good. He always gets chances to score. He just, for whatever reason, just can't buy a goal, as we say in my family. But it felt good. A little disappointed I wasn't on the call, but I'm still happy. And we're not going to spend 15 minutes talking about his goal. We will talk about other goals.
Yeah, so we are sitting it down to Catherine with Coach Ballard right now.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I will. I promise.
Hi, guys. We're down here with Coach Ballard. Now, Coach, 6-2 going into the third. This couldn't be a better game for you guys. How do you feel like your team is playing right now?
I think we could firm up areas in the defensive zone and stop turning pucks over a little bit. But other than that, we're finding the back of the net and we're applying offensive zone pressure. So no complaints at this point.
Well, your leaders are really taking charge, especially with Anders. 3 goals, 1 assist. What can you say about his performance this game?
You know, Matt showed up tonight. There's no question. The first 20 minutes were great for him, and obviously he's continued the second frame for sure. So the big guys have to step up and do big things in big games, and Matt just did that.
Colin Champagne has really been such an anchor for this team in the net. Tell me about his performance tonight. Even though he has 2 goals let in, he still is really incredible, especially with that glove save in the first period.
There's no question Piner's done a great job. We actually kind of let him down in that second goal. So no complaints at all for Colin right now. He's playing his game. We have to do a little better job for him defensively, and we got to clear pucks.
Lastly, what are you going to say to the team going into the third period?
60 minutes. We have to finish the last 20.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck. Back to you guys.
And so we heard from Coach Ballard. Obviously, nothing's ever perfect. You are up 6-2, but we heard him talking a little bit about turnovers. Is that just something, him looking ahead to other games, or is that something he's truly concerned about right now in terms of making sure he keeps this lead and CSU doesn't chip at it?
I think it's more a concern for other games. They have been turning the puck over, but they are still up by 4. So I don't think it's something he's super concerned with for the rest of this last period. But I think it's mostly just in general they need to not turn the puck over, because into the playoffs you're going to be playing teams that if you turn the puck over they can really capitalize on it. Still think he wants to see some improvement on it this third period, but I don't think he's super worried about it. It's more just like, hey, let's figure this out now so that when we come and play Iowa State in a couple of weekends, we're not going to make a fool of ourselves and get scored on a lot because we can't keep control of our own puck.
And so, as we saw, that they very similar scoring to the first period. What did you see in general from CU? Things were a little different than we saw from the first period in terms of who was scoring and kind of the gameplay we've seen.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk a little bit about CSU a little bit to start. I think they came out a little stronger. I thought in the first period they came out really slow, a little flat. They didn't seem like they were quite ready to face CU, a very familiar opponent who they have not beaten this year. And it showed they were a little timid, but I think the second period they came out a little stronger. CU still played a really great game, and minus a couple turnovers and a great wraparound goal, they still dominated the play, but CSU looked a lot better. I think CU sort of slowed down a little bit, but not a whole lot. I think now they're just going to sort of just try to control the game. They're up by 4. It's not really a safe lead in college hockey. I don't think there's really a safe lead in college hockey. I've seen games where you're up by 5 and you come back and lose, or like up by 3 with 5 minutes to go and you still lose. But I think they're gonna slow down enough to just control the pace. They don't want to keep things going too quickly, but they also want to control it. But they don't want to be too slow. So I think they'll just do a really good job of controlling, like they did the first period and even more again in the second period. Just slow things down, play the pace that they want to play, not let CSU dictate a lot, and just sort of control the game.
And, I mean, you talked about how CSU came out early on. How do you think this is obviously a unique environment to play a college hockey game anytime you're playing in a larger stadium like this, going from a smaller rec center or smaller arena. Do you think it's affecting either team at all in terms of the way they play? I mean, you said CSU came out a little timid, but
I think overall not really. These guys have all been playing hockey long enough that at some point in their careers they've played in big games, whether it's a national championship or some other like league championship or something. They've played in big games, so I think even coming to a big stadium, it's not like it's a sellout crowd. There's not 17,000, 18,000 people here. So I don't think it's really affecting either team too much. I think it's just they were probably more excited coming into this game before the game. But once they took the ice, they're like, all right, well, we got a game to play. We got business to take care of. Let's just take care of business. They've played enough big games, I think, that it's not really it's not affecting anybody either way. I don't think it's negative affecting anybody. Certainly not. Doesn't seem to be positively affecting anybody. If anything, it's like more positively affecting CU because I don't think they've put up a game quite like this season. But
And then going back to your brother's goal, we saw Pilkington assist on it, and we've seen a little bit of a shift in terms of line because of injuries. How have you seen him adjust to his new role, and how does it speak for the team moving forward in terms of that adjustment?
I think Pilkington's played he's done a good job all season. He played some defense a little like last season, and before coming to college he played some defense. But then this season he was playing forward, but once Temby got hurt, he was the big one, and then Mick Bruce was out for a while, and Coach Ballard had to move him back. He didn't slow down at all. He's still a super offensive player, and actually in the game a few weeks ago that CSU got beat by Arizona, he was the only one to score, and you could tell the entire game he was the only one really controlling the game, and he would skate it from his defensive zone to his offensive zone, get a scoring chance, and he was finally rewarded with a goal. He was the only one to score, but I think it's continuing more. He's able to play. He's super offensive-minded defenseman, which you always like to see. So I think going on through the rest of the season, through the playoffs, they're really going to look to how he's playing, and they're really going to like how he's playing because he's playing phenomenally. He has all season. But I think especially since the Temby injury, the Bruce injury, Bruce is now back, but Temby's still out. I think he's played exceptionally well, and he'll continue to do so, and it'll just help the team get a lot of momentum having a guy like him who can play both positions equally well and succeed at both positions.
And I mean, as a former defenseman yourself, how does that experience, his experience up front, how does that change the way he sees the ice and his ability? You said the advantage of having an offensive defenseman. How do you think that has helped his experience in that shift?
Well, I think, being a defenseman and moving up to forward and then coming back to defenseman like he's done, it really helps him be able to help whoever's in goal, whether it's Champagne or Palumbo or Lux, whoever it is. Just help him not have to make as many difficult saves because he'll know what the forwards are going to think coming into the zone, so he can make sure he reacts before anything happens. Like making sure, like we're all taught as defensemen, send the forwards, the wingers to the corners, but he really knows how a winger thinks and what he's going to try to do, so we can really make sure that he's on top of the man that he needs to be on top of before anything really happens, so we can eliminate threats before they're even there, which allows the goalies to focus more on making the saves that they have to make, and it makes them have to make less saves typically because he takes shots away. And then also in front of the net, he knows how pesky forwards can be. I mean, all defensemen do, but having played forward, he knows what forwards can typically get away with and what they can't, and so he can make sure that there's nothing that they're not going to get away with. Or if there's something he doesn't like, he can come to Champine's defense like all defensemen do. But I thought he's played very well again, and it's super beneficial to have that experience for him, just knowing what's going to come up next.
And we definitely saw an increase in penalties in that period, as we talked about in the first intermission, that possibility of the increased physicality. What did you see from the special teams in the second period from both teams?
Well, CU scored a power play goal. They're not great at the power play. I mean, they're not bad. They're not great. But their penalty killing was good. I thought overall CSU's penalty killing was also good. And their power play struggled a little bit, but that's more of a credit to how CU's penalty kill was than a discredit to their power play. I thought special teams were exceptional on both sides. Not a lot of goals. CU got the one power play goal, but they were very strong on the penalty kill, and CSU was also pretty strong on the penalty kill. You leave a guy like Jake Bauer open with an open net. When he missed an open net in the first period on a power play, he's going to put it behind the net. I can guarantee he was not happy after that first miss that he had, that he was going to put that one in the back of the net. So that was sort of a little defensive breakdown, but overall it was quite good for both teams.
So as we look ahead to the third period with CU up 6-2, what do you expect to see from both teams as CU tries to maintain or even extend the lead and CSU tries to chip away and get back into this game?
I think CU is going to do a lot of what they've done the first 2 periods. They've done a good job controlling the pace of the game, playing the game they want to play, not allowing CSU to come in and bully them around. And I think CSU is going to come out even stronger like they did, I think, every period so far. The first 2 periods, they've gotten better each period. So I think the third period, they're going to come out maybe a little stronger, but CU is going to know that they're going to come out stronger. And so they're not going to allow them to, again, come in and bully them, get too many shots. CU's just going to do what they've been doing. If they extend the lead, great. If not, great. They're up by 4. They don't really need to. But, I mean, knowing that they're playing CSU, they're going to want to if they can. They're going to take the opportunities if they get them. So I think both teams are going to continue to do what they've been doing, CU especially, because they've played so well throughout the game. CSU is going to come out a little stronger than they have. Maybe try to keep the physical stuff a little bit more to a minimum because it did burn them a little bit, getting a couple roughing penalties they didn't need to take. But I thought overall, good period for both teams, and it's going to be more of the same in the third.
And do you think the fact that CSU really has nothing else to play for, do you think that gives them kind of an extra edge in terms of coming out stronger and again trying to get back in this game?
Yeah, I don't know what their roster looks like in terms of age. They could have some seniors who this could potentially be their last game or their second to last game or whatever. So they might have a little. Since I don't know, I can't really know for sure whether or not they have any more to play for. But I don't feel like either team has more to play for than either team. But I also think CU's not going to just like squander an opportunity like, oh, we've made the playoffs, we're fine. They still have some work to do. But I think neither team really has more to play for than the other team. And I don't think it's going to really show. They're both like, hey, we want to win this game. CSU hasn't beaten CU this year. CU's won every game. They want to stay perfect against CSU this year. CSU wants to break that. So they both just want the win, and they're going to try their hardest to get it.
So that's it for us for the second intermission report. I am Jared Broush for Alex Doyle. We'll be back with you after the game, and the Joes will bring the third period action. I apologize. With CU versus CSU. We'll be back right after this.
You know, we were going to come back early just to talk about what's going on in the Titantron here at Pepsi Center.
Oh, my gosh.
I think we won that one. I think the Buffs won that round. Look at that.
I think so.
Pepsi Center in Denver. Well, Joe, I've got one period left in me.
I really hope it's the only one period. Well, mostly for, just the fact that when you get home or go out and enjoy some food, drink, what have you. But also it would make
We're
me
going
really
to your place,
upset.
right? We're all going to your place, right?
All
Everyone's invited to Joe's place, right?
Yeah.
Not mine. The other Joe.
Yeah, I think it would just make me angry, though, if we had to play overtime.
I think we're going to go on camera one more time.
Are we?
Okay. Well, this is the time of the broadcast where we get all mushy. We good? All right. Well, tonight will be my final game broadcasting for the University of Colorado. It's been an absolute pleasure over the last 4 years calling games for the Buffs. I can honestly say calling hockey games has been my favorite part of college. It's so much fun. And, it makes sense that Joe calls my final game with me. Joe, I called my first game with 4 years ago with the Boulder Bison. And without you, I wouldn't be standing here tonight.
Oh, so nice.
I want to thank all of you out there. It's the last 4 years have been absolutely tremendous. Literally support from around the world from all of you guys. I have a whole list in my notebook of people I was going to thank, and it ended up being about 100 names. And so for the sake of everyone at home that's not on that list, I don't want to make anyone suffer through a bunch of random names.
Don't make it an Oscars speech.
It will. Yeah, they're going to start playing my music here. But thank you so much to all of you, the parents, the players, the families, the fans, the coaching staffs, everyone. It's been a great 4 years, and we have bets, actually. The whole crew has bets on if I'm going to be crying by the end of the broadcast. I didn't yet.
You can do it, though.
I can cry? Oh, I'll cry post-game. Well, just hopefully they don't get a camera on me because that'll be all over the senior reel for the rest of the Sports Mag. But Yes, I just want to thank all of you guys. I can honestly say calling games for you guys at home for the last 4 years have been my favorite part of my life. And the support I get every week, the emails, the tweets, the phone calls, the handshakes in the ice rink, no matter where we are, more than anything for me. And, no matter what, Buffs hockey was always there for me. And I just want to thank all of you at home for an awesome 4 years, and I hope to see you all in the future. So it makes sense. You and I call my final game together. First game I called was a Boulder Bison game on a cold Friday night against, I think it was the Arizona Redhawks or the Mexico Renegades. And
one of those teams that nobody
I'll show you.
About.
I spent the whole, neither of those teams exist anymore. I spent the whole game like this because I didn't know what I was doing. I had a roster in front of me, and Joe told me the next day, so it's easier to watch the game if you look at the ice. So I've learned a few things over the last 4 years from Joe. But thank you so much, everyone at home. I'll stop the sob story because...
Well, I had some a little bit.
What?
I need a sob story.
Oh, we needed a sob story.
It's like, how when they need somebody to make any kind of special musical performance, they call Lady... You're like the Lady Gaga of the CMCI.
Wow.
Every kind of broadcast that you need...
Where is it?
You may have a good voice, I don't know, but anybody, you need to have this guy do any broadcasting, especially CMCI folks. Joe's your man. He always has been.
There it is. All right. Should we do hockey now?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's do the hockey game. 20 minutes up on the board. 6-2 our score. Colorado leads Colorado State. Teams will switch sides one more time. Colorado will carry left to right here on your video monitor at home in their gray and gold jerseys. There was a question, actually, during the intermission. Why has Colorado been wearing the same jerseys for all their home and away games? We actually had a jersey snafu where the jerseys that were ordered never came in. So it'll be these jerseys till next year. 6-2 our score. It's really been the Matt Anders show. I mean, let's be honest here.
He's 4 points.
He scored a lot of points here tonight.
Still has more points than CSU has goals.
And he's looking for another one. Anders in with Bauer. Takes a shot and a save by Dax Diedrich. Diedrich in his limited time coming in relief for Porter has looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, he definitely has. And, I wouldn't necessarily consider those goals Porter's fault, as we see Diedrich make a nice save. Pretty much a shot right into his gut by Anders. But one thing that Diedrich has been doing is he's just been that steady part for CSU so much. What they were hoping that Michael Porter would be, so far Diedrich, unfortunately, too late in the game, has been pretty good for the CSU Rams so far.
Playing along the glass for Nick O'Donnell. O'Donnell trying to break it up for Colorado State out to center ice. We're talking again during the intermission with a few fans, and they said, Joe, what are we going to see in the third period? And I said, I hope we see contained hockey, because it has been pointed out by more than one fan. The Rams have nothing to play for in the sense that their postseason play won't be happening this year, and the Buffs head off to the national championship. And, I had a question. So do you think they're going to start going after each other? And I don't. I think these two teams have a tremendous respect for each other. It's an in-state rivalry, but again, most of these guys know each other very well. Off the ice, they're a lot of friends, and of course, there's always going to be pushing and shoving and physical play during hockey, but, the tremendous amount of respect that we all have for Colorado State and they have for us, both on and off the ice is awesome. There are some rivalries that have some very bad blood, but I can honestly say that, played against these guys the last 4 years, sometimes it gets ugly out on the ice, but in the locker rooms, out in the hallways, everyone's very, very nice from Colorado State, and it's a really fun rivalry to be a part of. Shot on net turned away by Colin Champagne. Piner was having a great game here tonight in front of his entire family. Colin had the opportunity to hang out with his family down on ice level before the game, and it's awesome getting to call his games for the last 4 years. He was the starting goaltender the first game I called, and the last game here tonight. And his grandparents, they're almost in attendance to every single home game. They drive all the way from Castle Rock up to Boulder to see Colin play up in Boulder. A little bit of a shorter drive here tonight to Denver, and they're a family that absolutely loves Buffs hockey. And you can tell that Colin, he's always playing for something more than just the Buffs. He's playing for his family, and it's a really great story watching Colin over the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's just so fun playing in front of your family. Since I moved out here, I've been able to I've had less of that playing roller hockey in front of my family here.
And here comes Anders in over the line with Wigton. Anders waits, and it looks like that was Jarman. Looks like he thought he was going to shoot it, and Jarman thought he should pass it. We got a big check in behind the play. It looks like it was Hunter Clark to quad a shot from Mick Bruce, and Clark is slow to get off the ice. We'll keep you updated on Hunter Clark. Looked to be all right, a little bit slow, but it was a clean check. And wide open in the slot was Bradford. He couldn't quite collect the pass from Chris Doyle. I'll give Chris's brother Alex a little bit of credit there. Alex did not talk the entire intermission about his brother's goal, as I had bet he would.
But yeah, even that family connection, Joe. I mean, just as to finish my point, just to be able, those little times, those few times where you're able to play in front of your family and just make it so special for Colin. I mean, he's really understood and has really appreciated all of his family that have been so supportive of him, not only throughout his junior career, but throughout his career for the Buffaloes as well.
And Colin will be a mainstay in between the pipes for Colorado for the next few years. Transferred in at semester last year. So he's got just less than a year under his belt in the ACHA. Got plenty of hockey to play, and it's tough. I mean, truth be told, Colin came as the backup last year, and he's earned the starting role here this year as Bradford takes a little spill down on the neutral zone as we're going to get a whistle. And I think we're going to get a penalty here as the referees are going to say, we're not going to tolerate that. Looks like we'll get elbowing.
Yeah, and it looks like Abbott just came in there high a little bit on Andrew Bradford there, leading to a CU power play.
And we'll go down now to Catherine Bogart. Catherine?
Guys, definitely something that's great for the Buffs to practice right now is their power play. I mean, right now it's pretty much free hockey for them going into nationals. So being able to convert on this power play opportunity will not only cement their lead and give them the game, but it'll also give them more practice for when they play Iowa State next week. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Okay, now we are good. All right. Back to us in the booth. We lost communication there with Catherine, but she still got to tell her story. It'll be Colin Abbott that'll go to the box 2 minutes for elbowing, so Colorado will go on their fifth power play here of the evening. They are 1 for 4 so far.
Abbott so far has been the chippiest player on the Buff so far. Just went a little high there on Bradford. And
do I sound better now?
They're not going to take any of that, especially going into the late parts of the third period where you're right. CSU does not have much to play for, and especially for the seniors on that team.
Check.
Play deep in the corner. Pilkington will move it along to Bauer. Bauer looking for a pass. He'll go right back to Devin Pilkington, who will come cross-ice near side of Bergkemper. Pilkington to the far side, looking for some options. Tipped away, and will come out to center ice. That was going to be offsides as Pilkington was unable to hold the line. We got some pushing and shoving in behind the play. Outside of your monitor, it's Zach Lish getting into it with Devin Pilkington. And we'll get a whistle down on the play. Yeah. Just shaking hands with Chris Shook up in the booth.
Yeah.
Chris, one of the all-time legends in Colorado hockey.
Look at that big white smile.
There's that. Look at that, the white pearls from Chris Shook. Chris, the longtime club sports director at the University of Colorado, helped actually take this team from the Division II and Division III level up to the Division I level. And I can say this broadcast tonight probably wouldn't have ever happened if it wasn't for Mr. Shook giving us the okay. Yeah, this was a 10-year process, and, well, Mr. Shook was there every step of the way. So,
and, I mean, under his leadership, really, he built one of the most beautiful ice rinks in the rec center. I mean, for those who are longtime CU hockey fans, remember their old rink was blue, which indicates that it was built quite a while ago, Joe. I'd say probably from now, at least, it was built about 30 years ago. So, overall, great accomplishment.
What a play by George Gruber to get in deep on Diedrich. Diedrich, though, making another big save. And, boy, Dax Diedrich is playing very well here in relief.
You know, I wonder why head coach Eric Sunnis didn't start Diedrich in this game. I mean, I know he had the tough third period in Boulder, but Diedrich has really been solid so far. He hasn't been as, I guess you could say, all over the place as Michael Porter has been. And, of course, Michael gave up all 6 goals.
Colorado State still shorthanded here for another 15 seconds. They have the puck in down low. Shot on net is blocked away by Champine. It went off the back of the net. Piner got just enough of that one to alter the path. 8 seconds remaining on the Colorado power play. Looking for a stretch pass to Jarman. Picked off by the Rams. It'll be Casaria that'll carry it out to O'Donnell. O'Donnell tries to go across the ice. It goes off of a Colorado skate as we're back to even strength with 14:05 remaining here in our third period of play. It'll bounce by Jarm. I don't think Jarm saw that one coming as Hassel will skate back with that one. Trying to exchange with Neff. Will be picked off at center ice. Back and forth now with Matt Hefter. Hefter out to center ice, trying to hit Doyle. Onward down for Bradford. He'll take some contact as the puck will slide down low for Hassel. Hassel will skate back along his end line. He'll go D to D with Brian Casaria. Casaria looking for a pass on the outside for Neff. Neff was streaking down low. Brewster will beat him to the puck, and he almost flattened him into the boards. Neff is lucky he's not part of the glass at Pepsi Center. Elliot Palanchik will come in over the line looking for something. He ran into Bradford. He'll cycle it into the corner. Bradford will come after it. See guys probably trying to make a real rush to get a Pepsi Center moment tonight. 13-16 remaining in this third period. And it's got the kind of feel that you thought it would have here in the third period. You got a little bit of physicality, but these two teams know that there is more hockey to be played next season. Over the line, Bradford will touch at it. He'll chase after it into the corner. Taylor will beat him to it. In down low. Mostrozik will rough him up. Carried along the end line by Taylor. Taylor will break it out to center ice. Mostrozik, look, a centering pass and a save by Champagne. Out of position, the puck's still free. Champagne had it under him momentarily. The puck will slide out in behind the net. And Colorado's dodged a few bullets tonight here. I mean, in the opening minutes, or the opening, seconds of the game, they almost had a huge mistake.
Oh, Colin Champagne, I mean, he's made some great saves. Remember early in that first period, the Rams could have made it 3-2 there off that Hunter Clark penalty shot, but Hunter Clark made the mistake of going 5-hole, and Champagne, as you could say, he hasn't been tested that often, but when he has, he's made those crucial saves, and he's played the role that Champagne has to play, that slow, that sturdy, consistent goaltender behind that defense.
Carter will deliver a huge check into the corner. Carter looking for Kardash. Out to center ice, though, comes Yari Nightenbach. Yari will carry in through the slot, takes a shot. That one goes just high. Rebound will hit Mostrozik as Kardash will take it in behind the net of Champagne. Time quickly ticking away here in the third period. No score in our third. 6-2 our game score. Scoring recap. We've seen a lot of scoring from Colorado. 3 from Anders, 1 from Bauer, 1 from Carter, and 1 from Doyle. Carter brings it in over the line, and Luke Carter will be a leader on this team for years to come. He was a captain in Toronto, and he's got a very likely chance to be a captain in his tenure here at Colorado. I mean, his on-ice play and his locker room leadership is Colorado State almost tucks that one in. Has been, apparent since day one. Has always got a smile on his face, a really good attitude. When you bring a guy in from Canada, there's a lot of expectations coming down in the States, and he's lived up to them. Bauer jumps over the line. He ran into a little bit of contact there as the puck will slide in behind the net. Rams will look to carry out to center ice. It'll be Corey Taylor looking for a O'Donnell stretch pass. Picked off, though, by Devin Pilkington. He'll go D to D with Luke Coyne. Coyne excited to go play at the national tournament in Chicago, Illinois, where he grew up. Coyne, a big Blackhawks fan. He's been a great defender for Colorado the last 2 years and is excited to go home and play in the national tournament in Chicago. And the referee's got his hand up as the puck is somehow kept out of the net there. We're going to get a Colorado State penalty. So the Buffs will go back on the power play. It'll be their 6th opportunity of the night, 1 for 5 so far. We're now going to go down to Catherine Bogart.
Thanks, guys. Definitely a great performance by Colorado this game. Something that we have to remember, though, even though this game is pretty much a free game for them, they're going to nationals either way. It's so special for those who are from Colorado to play on this ice where they've seen so many legends play before. For them, it's definitely even more than just a rivalry game. It's a rivalry game at the Pepsi Center, which definitely makes the difference. Having that opportunity as an ACHA player is something far and few between, but we're excited that the Rocky Mountain Showdown has returned to the Pepsi Center this year. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Kath. 10.5 to go here in our third period. Colorado with a 4-goal lead. They'll have a 2-minute power play now as O'Donnell will go to the box. So Colorado will see if they can work on their power play here. 1 for 5 on the night. Coach Ballard would like that mark to be a little bit higher heading into the national tournament. Burkemper takes a shot, blocked off of a leg in front. I think it hit Casaria. Kept it at the blue line by Pilkington. Looking for Bradford on the back door. Deflected off of a bunch of things before this one will go down the length of the ice. And I'm sure you've seen on your monitor at home, Chip the Buffalo here tonight in his hockey garb. Pretty cool to see Chip out at Pepsi Center. Chip this year placed a top finisher in the national championship for mascots along with the CU Spirit Squad. Chip won a national championship a few years back. This year, making a very competitive run. He came up a little bit short, but, always great to have not only the best live mascot with Ralphie, who runs out all the football games, but animated as well with Chip.
Yeah, Chip's got it going. Chip's got a personality to complement the rough and tumble nature of Ralphie. But even rough and tumble are the Colorado Buffaloes. I mean, they've made this game look pretty easy.
Salvato takes a shot. A great save there by Diedrich. Almost fell in behind him. Puck forced to the corner. 50 seconds remaining on the Colorado power play. Jarman trying to fend his way down on the end line. Wrapped around the board. Salvato will keep it. Yes, he will. Over now to George Gruber, the 7th. Gruber looks down at Knightenbach. Goes down low for Jarman. Looking for a centering pass for Hefter. And, well, they scored. And that's a goal from Thomas Jarman. Does anybody know? They're going to have to show a replay. I know Jarman tried to pass it. I think that's the old play it off the back of the goalie. Of my entire calling career, that was the best one. That was the best goal I ever called. I hope they show a replay here, Joe. You can break it down.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, basically, it was just Jarman trying to play it out from the back of the net, and it hit a CSU defenseman. I'm actually thinking that's Jordan Natkowski. Let's see. That was him right there. Yes. Oh, that's just those are just those plays as a defenseman where you're trying to make the right play. You're moving your stick around, and it just – oh, my gosh. I mean, it just ends up in the back of your net. And, of course, a dancing shirtless guy. Weird getting me off top.
The Rams are going to take a timeout. We're going to head down to Catherine Bogart at ice level. Hello, Catherine.
Hey guys, Jarman is no stranger to the score sheet against CSU this season. Earlier in one of their previous matchups, he had 3 goals, and another, he had plenty of assists. He's definitely someone that has really shown how strong he can be in these high-pressure moments. Even though the pressure is off a little bit in this game, it's still important for Colorado not to lose their head. In a previous matchup this season, CSU was leading the Buffaloes on senior night in Fort Collins 3-0, and then Colorado was able to come back and get that 4-3 win. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Kath. So power play goal, nevertheless. We went off Natowski's stick and went in. I knew it was back to us. I was busy dancing though. You can never miss a beat.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes you just have to dance.
Yeah, you just feel bad for Natowski, though. It's just one of those plays where there's not much you can do, and it's just one of those nights where not much is really going to go your way.
What do you think of the timeout there by Coach Sunnis? I mean, you're losing now by 5 goals in a game. What do you say during that timeout?
Well, pretty much what you say is just keep fighting to the end, honestly. I mean, you play this team close in a lot of the games, especially towards the end, but just play it close and don't get out of hand.
Chris Doyle with a rocket there into the glove of Diedrich. He'll hang on for the save. And, oh, boy, we got a little bit of pushing and shoving as Mistrosik will take a shot there at Palanchik.
Or maybe he's just saying, you know what, go after these guys. I don't care anymore.
Oh, Bradford gets into it, too, behind the play. It looks like Bradford and Fiegel had a conversation. A lot of these guys, again, familiar. Look at boy, Bradford giving him the business there. A good shot, though, from Doyle.
Yeah, definitely a good shot. And Diedrich, one thing you'll say is he's pretty much been doing what Colin Champagne has done this game. He's just been that solid presence in net. He hasn't given up too many juicy rebounds. And if they have been rebounds in the low slot, he's given his defense a chance and ability to clear it or get a play going the other way or get a breakout back going the other way. But, yeah, definitely for CSU, it's just about finishing this with pride. That's basically what coaches tell you. Finish your game with pride, especially in a rivalry game where your rival is pretty much throwing you out of Pepsi Center without much of an effort, I guess, by your team. They got to come out kicking and screaming. They've tried. They've had moments where you thought they were going to get back into the game, especially in that first period, But overall, it doesn't look like there's much of a way back for the Rams with 8:37 remaining.
This guy's a legend. And shout out to the Colorado State Rams band who's been here and playing the tunes all night long. And now we are going to go down to Catherine Bogart for our timeout. Catherine, to you.
Well, the crowd here is having a great time with this game. We just saw Chip on the ice doing snow angels, and now he's helping up scoop all the ice around the boards. It's a great atmosphere out here. We see everyone dancing on the Jumbotron. We got a little kiss cam earlier. It's really a fun game, and that makes this game so much better because even though the score differential is quite high right now, the fans want to have fun, and the Pepsi Center really has helped with the fan experience today. Now they're locking Chip on the ice. Oh, just kidding. He will be coming back off the ice, so he won't be playing in this game. Back to you guys.
I thought they were going to let him play a shift. I always thought Chip would get one shift on the ice tonight. He's got to, right?
They should just roster him every game.
They should roster. I got rostered one game last year. I got
Why'd you
rostered
get
on the road.
rostered?
I got rostered on the road once.
Why?
Well, just for fun. We were short a guy, and they put me as they said Paris 3 radio starting. I started at radio. I was on the bottom of the roster. I got a picture of it somewhere as a top career moment. There was a penalty after the play, so the Rams will go to the box again. This time it'll be Daniel Mistrosic. So the Buffs back on the power play. They are 2 for 6 tonight. So it's 33.3% of the time they're converting in tonight's contest. Exactly.
Wow, looks like that CU education has been helping your math there.
4 years, man. 4 years. Do you use math ever after college? I mean, that's a constant thing. You use math in your everyday life.
I mean, sure, the simple math. It's not like you're.
Have you used calculus?
No.
Calculus.
No. I don't do the calculus.
Calculus. Me either. Every math teacher I ever had. Oh, you use this one day. You're going to thank me.
Yeah, taking the derivative of the negative cosine of 90 degrees. Please.
Boy, you didn't do that in the parking lot on the way over?
No.
No? Okay. All right, 40 seconds remaining.
I don't even know if you could do that, honestly, but that just came to mind.
A good save there by Champa and a good rush from Colin Abbots. Those two actually know each other very well. I saw them talking after the last game. And we've got Thomas Jarman wrapped up behind the play. I don't know if we're going to get a penalty. See, another save there by Champagne. Champagne's been great tonight. Really, I know he's got 2 marks against him, which he – and Colin goes back and watches every single game, the entirety of it. I think he told me he skips through the intermission reports usually. Maybe tonight he'll sit through it. But no matter what, he goes back and watches the entire game.
Well, he does, and there wasn't really a goal that I could say was his fault. The goal, I believe, by Gaddotti in the first period, Nick O'Donnell, it was just a shot by Neff, and as Colin was playing really square to the puck, it was just a great play by O'Donnell to knock it with his backhand out of the air and then put it to his forehand. Champagne not having really any chance there, and the second goal kind of the same thing as well, just a pass in the low slot there that really he couldn't do much about, especially because there's traffic in front.
Back to even strength with 6.5 to go in the third period. Colorado on top 7-2. A nearly identical score to last year's Pepsi Center contest. Jarman onwards, takes a shot, saved by Diedrich. Rebound, pushed out to the high slot, swung out and missed by Salvato. Salvato will go in deep. Eric Hillman will meet up in the corner. Salvato will dangle through some traffic, looking for an option. Shot there by Nitchin, just misses the glass as it goes into the boards. Neff will try to play this one out to center ice. Played down by Matt Hefter. Boy, he'll absorb some contact there on a second shot. And now the checking picking up a little bit there as Yari Neinbach let a shoulder into Mick Bruce, and we're going to get a penalty on the play. And again, this goes in the category of the referees keeping control of the game.
Yeah, they're trying to at least, but you're right, Joe, that the physical play has really started to pick up. It's very interesting how that can kind of work, especially starting at the high school and junior level and working your way into college. Once one person makes a hit, all of a sudden you start seeing the intensity of the hits grow as you see the penalty there. Just, I'd say probably check to the back possibly. But either way, CSU has a power play, and maybe they can get something on this here.
So Jarman will go to the box for 2 minutes. Third power play tonight for the Rams, 0 for 2 thus far. O'Donnell in down low with Neff. Neff looking for a pass in across the ice to the high slot. He'll find Fiegel. Fiegel through some traffic, saved by Champagne. Rebound still alive as Neff will try to create some space. Goes down. Bruce there to corral it. And Mick Bruce will head it out to center ice. Bruce looking to attack here. Captain defenseman will whiff on the shot. Goes into the corner. He and Kilman will meet up in down low. And carried out by Abbots. Look at that goaltending in by Champagne. And he's sliding around in the crease. Very comfortable in the nonchalant format, as we've talked about here for 4 years. Never a traditional goaltender, but he kept it entertaining for every moment. There were times, though, in his junior career where he thought he was Patrick Waugh, and he would try to handle the puck all the way out, and, it was usually all right, but once so often he'd handle himself into so much trouble that you could hear Coach DePoit yelling from the side, the side, "Stop!"
Well, it's kind of like Patrick Waugh. That's the one thing he was not a Hall of Famer at, was handling the puck.
Except the time he deked Gretzky.
Yes, except the time he deked Gretzky, and then did a little, I don't know what you call that move, where you end up doing a little pirouette. Unfortunately, he went a little too far, but I know the Rangers announcers had fun with that for sure.
And Mick Bruce is going to get holding as he held Will Neff.
Pretty textbook.
That's, this is the one game of the year where we have replay. We could be like, yeah, he held him. You can see it. Because sometimes you don't know. You don't know. There's our replay that we totally are doing ourselves here in the booth.
Or if anybody complains, you just be like, come on, that was quite obvious. CSU has a 5-on-3, though.
They do. 4.5 remaining in the third. Hassel through traffic. Saved by Champagne, and he'll send a punch into the stomach of Casaria. And his teammates will make sure nothing goes from there. Kardash and Knightenbach will go into the boards as they have a conversation.
Actually, looks like Chris Godotti, he tried to put his...
Yeah, that was
Godotti gave him a smack, and Champagne was like, no. In more aggressive...
Please leave.
Angry... yes.
This is my crease. Gone, heathen.
Blue equals me. White equals you. That sort of thing. But
yes.
Yeah, that's what former teammates will do. They'll turn up the energy, though, when they play each other.
Oh, they know each other. They know. You know what your former teammate's number is out there. You know exactly who's out there with you.
Maybe that's why he did it. Maybe he could get away with it a little bit.
So 5-on-3 for another 19 seconds. Good scrum in the corner. Finally comes out to Colorado State. In on the end line. Tipped away. Good defensive play by Luke Coyne. Hassel still with it. He'll walk the line straight away. Back to the near side. Looking for Lish. Takes a shot. Kick save by Champagne. Rebound to the corner for Yari Knightenbach. Knightenbach will leave it in down low for Lish. Lish will be pinned up against the boards by Kardash. One man comes out of the box. We'll get a referee's whistle. And it'll be 5-on-3 for another minute, 15 seconds. This will go down as the fourth power play for the Rams. 0 for 3 on the night.
Yeah, and the big 0 for, I guess you could say, is that 5-on-3.
We're going to get another penalty. This one's going to go on cards.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, I guess they're going to have another 5-on-3.
The parade continues.
The parade continues. And you would actually think it would be CSU that'd be having this problem, Joe, because they're the ones that are down by 5 goals. But so far, CU being a little undisciplined, I'm guessing it might have been a hold or a hook coming out of the crease there that they didn't show on this replay.
O'Donnell at the top of the circle, 5-on-3 for the Rams. Good passing in front, a save by Champagne, rebound, still loose, and Trent Edwards will got it right back to Champagne as Ponner thought he was on top of that one. The puck jumped free. Good passing, better save.
Yeah, Nick O'Donnell was pretty much wide open in the low slot there. He could have picked anywhere really in the net, but he instead decides to shoot it at Champagne's chest, and as they say, Champagne's chest is the fastest in the league, that's for sure.
That's the classic line there.
Yes.
I don't know how many times you said that. I don't know how many times I laughed at it. At least 30% of the time.
Yeah, this wasn't one of them.
This was one of them. I didn't get it for the first few times you said it. I was like, what is he talking about? Neff on the end line for O'Donnell. O'Donnell back to Neff, looking for a shot. Takes one. That one goes wide on the near side. It'll bounce along the boards now to Corey Taylor. Anders will give him the business. Sticks with the Rams, though. 36 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. 3:13 remaining in our third period. Buffs on top 7-2. Pilkington trying to get it out of the zone. Stays in the corner, though. Now for receiver return pass. Crossing pass on the back door. Tipped away by Devin Pilkington. That was a good stick there, or else that would have spelled trouble for Colorado. Still alive, though. Natowski. Neff. In down low. Looking on the back door for O'Donnell. Again, Pilkington shuffles it away. 10 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3. O'Donnell takes a shot through traffic, and Champagne will hang on to that one.
Well, Joe, it's when, if you remember, we were talking to Catherine a little bit earlier, she talked about the penalty kill, and she talked about CU really not only trying to minimize the penalties, which they haven't done really in this third period, but this 5-on-3 is a great opportunity for this live in games. When you're down 5-on-3 to be able to kill off a penalty, that'll be huge, especially if they have to face that situation in Nationals.
And we're going to go down to Catherine Bogart one more time. Catherine, hello.
Hey, guys, thank you. Something that the CU defense, especially on the penalty kill, has done is really shut out Nick O'Donnell. Nick is leading the team with a +8 right now, and he's their leading scorer. So being able to shut him down right now has really helped the Buffs keep their lead of 5. Back up to you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Catherine. Eric Killam deep in his own zone. One man will come out of the box for Colorado. Still 34 seconds on the penalty. To Eric Kardash. 2.5 to go in our third period. Over the line for Guidotti. Guidotti be chased down by Adams. Passed out in front, taken away. Here comes Jake Bauer. Bauer's going to come in on a breakaway shorthanded. Bauer deeks to the left, backhand, he scores! Jake Bauer, a backhanded, short-handed goal, and it's 8-2. What a play by Jake Bauer. He received a great pass out of the zone. You take a look at Bauer in all alone. He loves the backhand on the top side. What a play from Bauer.
Yeah, goal number 2 on the night, and basically CSU was caught napping on that play, and Bauer just with the heads-up ability. You know, he wanted one more goal here in this game, and he's got it. He lost the handle for the puck a little bit, but, of course, he was able to recover and put that away for an 8-2 lead.
Bauer still with it, almost out of the second one there in a matter of seconds. A shorthanded goal from Jake Bauer, so the entire first line for Colorado turning it on here tonight.
Bauer's on hat-trick alert, too.
Yeah, Bauer very quietly has 2 goals in this contest. Minute 50 remaining, back to even strength, 5-on-5 skaters, looking for a stretch pass. Berkheimer feels left out of this. He's the only member of that first line that doesn't have a G tonight. Does have an assist.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
The apple, as they call it.
The apple.
Played out to center ice for the Rams, carried in over the line. Davies looking for an option, and the referee will call him offsides. With a minute 32 remaining in the third, again, Bauer an unassisted goal. Shorthanded makes it 8-2.
I mean, it's the kind of game, Joe, that I for CU fans, if you were going to bet, was probably going to happen like this. I would imagine it could be a little bit closer, but especially the way that CU ended up beating CSU at home, you just knew that they were going to try and capture that momentum, especially recapture that momentum, especially because they're going in to this first-round matchup against Iowa State. They need to be sharp, and you know that Eric Ballard, the head coach for the CU Buffs, was telling them to turn it on for tonight, because if they lost tonight, it would have been really tough to recover for at Nationals.
Quick one-timer in the slot. Got it away from Champagne with a minute and 6 seconds remaining here in the third. Colorado on top big. It'll feel good heading into the national tournament to knock off your rival at Pepsi Center. The Buffs will have a few weeks before they do go to Chicago in March. Hassel will take it at the top of the circle. Shot on net, deflected away. Try to glove it down is Gruber. Under a minute to go here. Coyne will carry out to center ice. Looking for Gruber at center. George will go D to D back with Coyner. Coyne carries through the neutral zone with 40 seconds remaining. Picked off by Zach Lish. He'll try to connect on a pass out of the zone. Carrying with it will be Chris Guidotti. Referee's got his hand up to say he was onside. Under 30 to go in the third. Nightenbach will push it off along the boards. Cotter will shove him away. Gruber will see the puck bounce off in front of him. He'll carry out to center ice alongside Salvato. Salvato's got a chance for one more rush. Looking for Gruber there in the slot. The puck will slip away as the 2 sevens will collide into the boards. Push around in, down low for Gruber. Looking for a pass. Picked up by Lish as time will expire on the Buffs regular season. Final score, Colorado 8, Colorado State 2. The Buffs knock off the Rams in fantastic fashion, led by Matt Anders. Anders will be our all-star of the game, a natural hat trick in the first period, as well as a handful of assists. Colin Champagne stood solid the entire contest here tonight in net. And the Buffs will head to Chicago, Illinois for the ACHA National Tournament.
Wow, Joe, first of all, great effort by the Buffs, as you said, not only taking down the Rams in what you would say is expected fashion, but nevertheless, it was a great effort for the Buffs, but it's just making me really excited for the national tournament, Joe. I expect the Buffs to really make some noise, get past that second round, and really make a big shot at the national title. I don't really think that this will be the year they have to do it, Joe, but if they do, it'll set a huge benchmark for this Colorado Buffaloes program, not only heading into next year, but the years to come, because you're also thinking about recruits. They can do well in this national tournament. I can see CU being a powerhouse for quite a while.
Oh, absolutely. I think Colorado will be a team to mess with for a long time. The teams will shake hands at center ice as take a look at tonight's highlights, and amongst them, a bunch of Colorado goals and this dancing man.
They love the dancing man.
We are going to take a real quick break, but when we come back, Jared Brouch and Alex Doyle will be here for our post-game show. Catherine Bogart is standing by also down low with hopefully a few Buffaloes. So we'll be going down to Catherine, and then Joe and I will come on to finish things up here at the end of the show. So we are going to step aside, but we'll be back in about 30 seconds with Alex Doyle and Jared Brouch. You're tuned into Colorado Hockey with Joe Paris and Joe Aria. Post-game show coming up right now.
And I'm Jared Brush here with Alex Doyle with the post-game report from the Pepsi Center. What did you see tonight? We saw CU finish things off, score a couple more goals for the end. What did you see overall from CU, especially as they look forward to the Nationals?
I saw that they're coming into Nationals ready to play and ready to compete for national championship and actually have a decent shot at winning a national championship. They show that they're a very strong team, and I think they actually cleaned up the puck possession game. I didn't see quite as many turnovers in the third period as I saw in the second period, so Coach Ballard has to be happy about that. And they also showed that when things get tough with almost 4 minutes of 5-on-3, no goals were scored. They showed that they just don't give up on the penalty kill no matter how hard it gets and how long they have to do it. They're going to play, and Champagne had to make some more saves than he probably would have liked to, but they played very, very well for that entire stretch. Thought one of the calls was a little questionable, maybe one or two was questionable, but overall, penalties were called. Buffs did everything that they had to do, and they even capitalized on, with a breakaway goal. Bauer just buried it on the shorthanded attempt there, so it's very, very good penalty killing, and I think that's going to be very, very beneficial for them.
We have Catherine Reddy down near the ice for some post-game conversation.
Hi, I'm here with Colin Champagne. Now, Colin, you had a great game tonight. You were always focused, getting back even after those 2 goals. Tell me what was going through your mind throughout the game.
Just play 60 minutes. That's really what it came down to. Is we're looking to go into nationals, going hard. So, as much momentum as we can get before the next week is really what we're focusing on. And those 2 goals they happened. They were fluke goals, and they worked hard for them. So.
You definitely had some really powerful saves in the first period that kept you guys ahead and didn't allow CSU to make it 3-2. Tell me about that.
I'm just the guy in the back. That's my job. I save the puck. If it looks good, it's better. But I got to make saves. So I don't really focus on what they look like. And I'm just trying to keep them out of the net and keep going for the boys. So.
A lot of 5-on-3 there at the end. Tell me how you really have seen this team step it up in the penalty kill, especially tonight.
Yeah, the boys did great tonight. It was 3 power play or 3 penalty kills right in a row, and we did an unreal job. We were getting in lanes, we were sticks on pucks and winning battles, and the D were doing a really good job of boxing guys out so I could see the puck, and that's our biggest thing. If I can see the puck from the point, I can save it, and that's what we've been working on the past couple weeks here. So
5 wins over your rival this season. How are you going to use that momentum going into the tournament against Iowa State?
Just keep it going. It's whoever we play, Iowa State, might not, in the second round or whatever. We're just keep going hard, and 60 minutes at a time, a period at a time, 5 minutes at a time, like I said before. So, just keep the momentum rolling, and hopefully we come out hard.
Congratulations, and have a great tournament in the national tournament. Back up to you guys.
And as we heard, and mirroring what you said, how important the penalty kill was. But the other thing that we've noticed, the fact that they only gave up 2 goals, is the goal play and how important we saw how aggressive he is as a goalie and what that means for the attitude of the team and momentum. What are you looking for in terms of goal play carrying over to, as we've been talking about, nationals?
I don't think they're going to look for Champagne to change a whole lot. He's played lights out the last 2 games. 6-0 shutout against CSU last week, 2 weeks ago. 8-2 victory today. He's played lights out the last 2 games, and really most of the season. He's had a couple bad games, but goalies have bad games every once in a while. I don't think that they're going to look for Champagne to change a whole lot. If anything, they might want him to be a little bit more aggressive. I can't think of anything that really need him to change. But you said we were talking about how aggressive he is, and every once in a while it has come back to bite him a little bit. He'll come try to play the puck a little more aggressively than most goalies would, come out of his net, and then he plays it right to the other team and they get a goal. But usually he's able to get away with it, and I think they need him to keep doing that. He can't sit back now knowing that, now I just need to play a little more conservatively. He needs to keep doing the same thing he's done all season because he's played so well all season, and he's been one of the most reliable guys, if not the most reliable guy all season, I think. And so they're going to rely on him to just keep doing what he's been doing all year long. Make the saves that he needs to make, and they'll try to do everything to make sure that he doesn't have to make too many saves like they did tonight. There weren't a lot of saves that he had to make, and when he did have to make them, for the most part, he came up with the puck and made the saves that he needed to.
And turning the attention to the other side of the ice, offensively, what do they need to do or continue to do, again, as they look toward nationals?
Well, today they scored 8 goals. The game before that they scored 6. I don't know a whole lot else that they really need to do offensively, at least against a team like this. Against a team like Iowa State, I was at the game back in November, I believe it was, that they played, and it took till overtime to win it. Both teams played really well, so I think they need to control the puck. They need to not, like Coach Ballard was saying, not turn the puck over, and they need to make sure that they have the puck on their sticks as often as they possibly can. They need to come out hard, and they just need to shoot, because if you shoot, you're going to score some goals. So I think those are the biggest things, not turn the puck over and just get more shots. Sometimes they don't always shoot, and they try to look to pass, which is good to try to pass, but sometimes there's shots that just need to be taken. And so they need to take those shots. They need to control the puck and keep it on their stick. And really, I think those are the two biggest things that they could work on to score goals. They've scored a lot of goals this season, as we saw tonight. So I think they're not too worried about the goal scoring. They just need to clean those other two areas up, and then they'll score more goals.
And that's it for us tonight from the Pepsi Center, University of Colorado 8, Colorado State University 2. Joe and Joe will be back to finish things out here from the Pepsi Center.
Well, it was a heck of a game. Colorado comes away with a big victory. Alongside Joe Ria, I'm Joe Paris. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We really appreciate your support all year long. Final words on the game. Colorado 8 goals tonight. 2 goals for Colorado State. 6-goal differential there. Colorado looking good heading into the national championship.
Yeah, they are, and this is exactly the game that they needed to have. They needed to be solid on all sides of the puck, not only on offense, not only on defense, but also special teams as well. They could probably improve a little bit on their power play. I mean, that'd probably be the one sore spot that Eric Ballard will see when he watches the film here. But, I mean, CU's penalty kill, was really good early in the game. They had a couple 5-on-3s to kill off, Joe. They did so. And you know what? That's just that kind of momentum that you need heading into the game, having confidence that your penalty killers are going to kill off those penalties should, in fact, CU take a bunch of them, should they get into some penalty trouble. And even though they didn't score that many goals on the power play, CU was able to score when it counted. That big line, Joe, of Bergkemper, Bauer, and Matt Anders, who had the hat trick. Bauer had 2. So it was just really, really good so far for the Buffs. They've had a great season, Joe, wouldn't you say so? It's probably been one of the best they've had.
This is the best year they've had in program history, and, ending it tonight, beating Colorado State the way they did. I mean, it's fun to beat your rival, but to absolutely just bury them like that at Pepsi Center, I mean, you feel good about that. And, coming into this last game, that Colorado State is playing, a tough game against the Buffs. And heading into nationals, you got to feel really good that in a very contested game, although the scoreline doesn't show it, the Buffs played very well. And that's the type of hockey you want to play into February and March in the ACHA. And it's really not about, what you're doing in the beginning of the season. If you're hitting your stride heading into the tournament, that's really all it's about. And you talk to Coach Ballard early on in the year, and some things aren't going the ways that you'd like to. He says, Joey, you can't win a national championship in October. You gotta wait till March to chase that down. And I think he's got to be very happy with the stride the Buffs have hit here the last few months, and heading into a really big matchup against Iowa State down in Chicago. You got to feel good. The boys will have a few days to rest up before they get back on the ice and get healthy, hopefully. But man, what a year. I mean, what a way to end the year here at Pepsi Center. I want to thank everyone, part of our crew here tonight: Alex, Emma, Jared. What is your name? No, it's Zach. Catherine, Tanner, Ansley, Cyrus, Alex, Jake, of course, Greg O'Brien, who I owe a lot of beer. Oh, man, Greg, I owe him like 6, 7, 8 beers after tonight. The entire Pepsi Center crew that's been here with us tonight. The Colorado coaching staff, everyone we've worked with this year. It's been a lot of fun. Who am I forgetting, guys? Who did I mention?
Well,
Thank everyone.
while you're trying to remember, Joe, it's amazing because they're all taking pictures of us as I'm trying to make a description of how the game has been going. It was a little bit distracting, but it's really nice to see
It's
the
most viewers we've
cohesiveness.
ever had in this room. Yeah, we've got 6 viewers.
It's really nice to see the cohesiveness of the team here, the broadcast team, and also really being a huge credit it's to the students who have not only sort of built up the CMCI from what it used to be, which was the J School and then nothing. It's the CMCI is going to be a force to come, and having broadcasts like this and broadcasters like you, Joe, will pretty much be the way that CU will come out on top. I think we're definitely better broadcasters than CSU. That I could say for sure. But as far as the national level, we're getting that kind of recognition, and we hope that CU can be the future of broadcasting.
Well, I can tell you without a doubt, everyone in this room except for me and Tanner, but Tanner, you don't do anything anyways. Everyone will be here next year, so no worries. This crew will outdo what we always have done. And the running joke the last 4 years, and I don't have to talk to them, I can talk to you guys. The running joke the last 4 years is you guys have made me look a lot better than I am in the production truck, and I'm the face, the very pretty face, that's on television every week. And I couldn't do it without you. I don't know where Greg is. Greg's probably he's still working at this hour.
He's very elusive. He's a big guy, but you can't really find him. Honestly, you'll turn around, he'll disappear, turn around again, and he'll reappear. That's just amazing work that he's been doing, not only for Buff Vision, but for the students at CMCI as well.
And honestly, this isn't like a set school program. Everyone that's in the room with us here tonight is here because they chose to be, and I couldn't ask for a better staff the last 4 years. It hasn't always been easy, but I'll tell you, it's always been fun. Thank you so much to all of you here tonight. I know we leave this in great hands. Cyrus needs to stop. Special thank you to you, Joe, for coming all the way up, for doing this one game with me. I called in a special favor. He owed me one, so this is it. I owe you two since we did the GOP coverage too. But, especially thank you to Catherine Bogart. Catherine, I borrowed her from USA Hockey. You'll recognize her. She is going to do awesome things. Check her out on Twitter. She works for USA Hockey all the time. She'll be covering the World Juniors and the World Cup of Hockey coming up, Kath. So stay tuned to a screen near you. Wow. Well, we did it, huh?
Yeah.
You know what the amazing part of this whole thing is? I got through 4 years of hockey broadcasts with ever saying, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Cut my mic. Alongside the entire crew here at Pepsi Center, thank you very much for an awesome 4 years. We're going to step aside now. It's your guys' show coming up next year. There's Greg. Greg, come here. Come here, Greg.
Yeah.
Come here, Greg.
Come here.
Greg, come here. Greg, come here.
Hey,
come here,
get
Greg.
here.
Come here. Okay, come here. Let's
Now
tell a
bend
quick
down,
story.
Bend down so
Okay,
everybody
let's
can
tell
see.
a story. It was February 8th, 2013.
All right, now go
Connor
ahead.
McHugh and I were, Connor McHugh and I were calling a hockey game on a Friday night, and Greg O'Brien wanders into the ice rink and says, "Do you guys want to broadcast this on TV tomorrow?" And I thought he was joking. And the next day was my birthday. He doesn't joke. And so the next day, Greg showed up at my apartment at 9 o'clock in the morning with a truck full of gizmos and wires, and I didn't know what any of it did. And Greg made all of this possible. And without Greg O'Brien, we would have never live streamed a game for you guys at home. And, we mention Greg in every broadcast. This is what he looks like. So if you see him in the street, buy this man a beer, because I'll be buying him several tonight.
And he's hard to miss.
He is hard to miss. He's a big guy. I also got to thank Connor McHugh, my longtime mentor, who taught me about as much about hockey as about anything in life. Guys like Connor and Greg made this possible and continue into the future. You guys are in good hands next year, but I couldn't finish the broadcast without having Greg here. Greg, none of this would be possible without you. Greg works tired. He doesn't get paid a dime. If anything, this is costing him money. Also, thank you to Derek Michelson, who's put up with me for a number of years. Derek pretends he's on his radio so he can't hear me. Yeah, he's smiling now. Yeah, he is.
Pretend to be busy.
He's trying to be busy here. Yeah, he does have the speaker out the hallway, so he can hear me. Thank you to everyone that's made this possible over the last 4 years. This has been the highlight of my life. So Greg's going to go into the shadows and go back to doing engineering. But thank you so much, everyone at home. That'll do it for us. How do you say goodbye, Joe? How do we do this?
Let's go.
Let's go, Buffs. Alongside Joe Aria, I'm Joe Paris. Thank you very much, and good night.